Chapter 42-38.
Lu Ming nodded after hearing the old man's explanation.
This was pretty much what he had guessed. That commander was indeed venting by watching others fight to the death. Kid, I've answered your question. Now, let's get back to the main topic. Your power is very special and very powerful. It can erase the power of restrictions. Do you see that I'm chained up by these chains? These chains also contain the power of restrictions. How about you help me break them? The old man said. Oh, that's your goal, right? But what good will it do me if I help you break them?
If those red-robed men know about this, I'm afraid I'll end up in a miserable state.
Lu Ming said. Of course there will be benefits. You're also affected by the heart flame demonic fire in the sky prison.
No one can be spared, but I have a way to resist the heart flame demonic fire so that your mind and spirit won't be affected.
The old man said. These words made Lu Ming's heart skip a beat. His eyes shone brightly. You really have a way to prevent my mind and spirit from being affected by the heart flame demonic fire? Lu Ming asked urgently. The heart flame demonic fire was indeed a great threat to Lu Ming. Although he had the forbidden power, it could only prevent his physical body from being affected. His mind and spirit would still be affected. The forbidden power couldn't completely eliminate it. If this continued, it would be very dangerous. The longer it lasted, the more dangerous it would be. The longer it lasted, the stronger the negative emotions in his heart. In the end, it wasn't impossible for him to completely fall into madness. If he wanted to leave the sky prison alive, this problem had to be solved. And now, the old man said that he had a way to solve it. Lu Ming was naturally overjoyed. However, Lu Ming's mind wasn't ordinary. He quickly controlled his emotions and calmed himself down. Kid, as long as you help me break the restrictions, I'll teach you the way to resist the heart flame demonic fire. The old man said. How do I know if you're telling the truth? Lu Ming was skeptical. He didn't believe that he could find a way to resist the heart flame demonic fire so easily. If it was so easy, what was the point of the sky prison? Let me tell you, everything I said is true. Otherwise, why do you think Commander Tungsten locked me up here? He wants to know how to resist the heart flame devil fire from me, but I won't tell him. Does he think I don't know? As long as I tell him the method to resist the heart flame devil fire, he will kill me without hesitation, the old man said. Lu Ming nodded. What the old man said made sense. If he really handed over the method to resist the heart flame devil fire, then the old man would lose his usefulness to Commander Tungsten. Naturally, Commander Tungsten would not keep him alive. They have tortured me for a long time, but as long as I don't say anything, they won't kill me. One day I will escape. I will definitely get my revenge.
The old man roared.
Even if I help you break the seal, I'm afraid that you won't be able to escape. There are many experts here, Lu Ming said. However, before Lu Ming could finish speaking, he heard footsteps coming from outside. Lu Ming immediately stopped talking. They're here. They're here for me. The old man said. Sure enough, after a while. With a clang, the door of the stone prison opened and a group of people walked in. The one leading was Commander Tungsten. There were also a few other red-robed men. Commander Tungsten walked into the stone prison and glanced at Lu Ming. When he saw that Lu Ming's injuries were almost healed, he was surprised. However, he did not say anything and continued to walk toward the old man. Old man, I'll give you one more chance. Hand over the method to resist the heart flame devil fire. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. Commander Tungsten said coldly. Ha ha ha, if you have the ability, then do it. It's impossible for me to hand over the method to resist the heart flame devil fire. The old man laughed loudly and looked as if he could kill him at any time. You are courting death, Commander Tungsten roared angrily. His eyes were filled with flames of anger and ferocious killing intent. Every time he faced the old man, his negative emotions would explode. If it wasn't for the fact that he really wanted the method to resist the heart flame devil fire, he would have turned the old man into ashes. Let me tell you, if you don't hand it over, you'll suffer endless torture. If you hand it over, you'll suffer less torture. Commander Tungsten said coldly. If you want to do it, then do it. Don't talk nonsense. I'll say it again. It's impossible for me to hand over the method to resist the heart flame devil fire. The old man sneered and his attitude was unyielding. You're courting death. Men, do it and torture him well, Commander Tungsten roared. Immediately,
A few red-robed men took out a few talismans and pasted them on the old man's body. These talismans turned into runes that crawled all over the old man's body. At the same time, the chains on the old man's body trembled and emitted a dazzling glow. Runes appeared on the chains and crawled into the old man's body along the chains. Roar! The old man's body suddenly trembled and he let out a beast-like roar. The veins on his face bulged and his eyes bulged as if he was suffering endless pain. As time passed, his body trembled more and more violently. In the end, the roars became more and more frequent. It was obvious that the talismans and chains were working together to inflict great torture on the old man. However, the old man didn't beg for mercy or give in. This went on for half an hour. The old man's aura was getting weaker and weaker. If this continued, the old man would die. Damned old man, damned old man. Commander Tungsten was also extremely irritable. He kept roaring and the madness in his eyes intensified. He really wanted to ignore the old man and let him be tortured to death. However, his remaining rationality told him that he couldn't. The old man was his only hope. If he couldn't obtain the method to resist the heart flame devil fire from the old man, he would sooner or later fall into madness and become a walking corpse. In the end, his rationality prevailed. Stop! Commander Tungsten roared. A few red-robed men formed seals and a few talismans flew out from the old man's body. As soon as the talisman seals flew out, the runes on the chains dimmed and disappeared. Hoo! The old man kept panting and his face was covered in cold sweat. Old man, you better think carefully. Next time, I'll make you suffer even more. Commander Tungsten said coldly and left with his men. With a clang, the door closed and Lu Ming and the old man were left in the stone prison. The old man was still panting and Lu Ming didn't disturb him. After the period it took an incense stick to burn, the old man's aura finally calmed down.
Chapter 42-39. Little guy, do you believe what I said now?
After a while, the old man regained his breath and said to Lu Ming.
Lu Ming nodded.
Indeed, from what had just happened, he could conclude that the old man had a way to resist the heart flame demon fire.
This made Lu Ming's heart move. Senior, even if I can help you break the seal, this is the enemy's lair. They have many experts, we can't escape. Once your seal is broken, we'll be in more danger.
Lu Ming said.
So we need a chance.
The old man said.
A chance? What chance?
Lu Ming asked.
In this prison, there are always people going crazy. These crazy people will attack everywhere. In addition, there are also some people who are filled with negative emotions. They are bloodthirsty and murderous. With so many living beings gathered here, it's possible that some of them will come here to kill. It happened before, but I was controlled by the seal and didn't have a chance to escape. If it happens again, we can take the chance to escape. The old man said. Are you sure? Looking at the old man's weak appearance, Lu Ming was doubtful. With their battle strength, even if the prison fell into chaos, it would be difficult for them to escape. The enemy only needed to send a cultivator of the fourth great supreme god layer to capture them. Little fellow, don't underestimate me. My cultivation is currently sealed by the restriction. Once the restriction is removed, my cultivation will recover by a large portion. Let me tell you, my peak combat strength isn't inferior to that Commander Tung Ji.
The old man said with a hint of pride in his voice.
At your peak, you're not weaker than Commander Tung Ji? Then how did he capture you?
Lu Ming was still doubtful.
That's because at that time, I was entangled by a completely crazy person. I fought with that crazy person, and with great difficulty, I managed to kill that crazy person. I was also injured. That Commander Tung Ji took the opportunity to charge out and seriously injured me. That was how I was captured. If I was at my peak, how could that Commander Tung Ji possibly capture me? The old man said. He seemed unhappy. If that's the case, we can give it a try.
Lu Ming murmured and made a decision.
All right, then we'll wait for an opportunity. Once the opportunity arrives, break open the restrictions for me and I'll take you away. Little fellow, during this period of time, Commander Tungsten will surely make you go out and fight. You have to preserve your life and not die.
The old man said.
You don't have to worry about that. Now, can you teach me how to resist the heart flame demon fire?
Lu Ming said.
If I teach you now, what if you go back on your words? I think we'll talk about it after we escape. The old man said. Lu Ming had no choice but to wait. For the next 2 days, Commander Wuji did not let Lu Ming go out to fight. It was only on the 3rd day that Lu Ming was finally summoned. Above the stone dungeon and on the battle platform, Lu Ming looked ahead. A tall figure was walking over. Every step he took caused the ground to rumble. It was a gorilla, more than 8 meters tall. It was extremely tall and sturdy. The gorilla wasn't made of flesh and blood. It was made of metal. It was a metallic creature. Its whole body was shining with a black metallic luster. It gave people the impression that it was invincible. Is that one of the top 10 clans, the Metallic Creature Clan? A thought flashed across Lu Ming's mind. You're just a human of the Divine Emperor realm. I'll tear you to pieces. The metallic gorilla roared and stomped on the ground. His tall and sturdy body was like a mountain, pressing down on Lu Ming. His violent chi was extremely terrifying. Second Great Supreme God Layer. Lu Ming knew that it was a cultivator of the Second Great Supreme God Layer. However, his chi was even stronger than the 6-eyed middle-aged man Lu Ming had fought last time. Lu Ming threw a punch, colliding with the metal gorilla's fist. There was a violent explosion. Then, Lu Ming's body retreated continuously. He retreated more than 10 steps before he regained his balance. Of course, Lu Ming had done it on purpose. The metallic gorilla was one of the top 10 clans, the Metallic Creature Clan. It was extremely strong. It was indeed stronger than an ordinary cultivator of the Second Great Supreme God Layer. However, it still wasn't a match for Lu Ming. But Lu Ming couldn't show his full strength. He had to act weak. Otherwise, Lu Ming could bet that the enemy would send out a cultivator of the Third Great Supreme God Layer next time. Lu Ming was pushed back a dozen steps. The metallic gorilla was pushed back a few steps as well. You're that strong. The metallic gorilla was astonished. It hadn't thought that Lu Ming, a Divine Emperor realm cultivator, could be that strong. Even in the Metallic Creature Clan, such a young genius had never appeared before. You're such a strong young genius. If you grow up, you'll become a great enemy of the Heavenly Palace. I didn't want to kill you, but I have no choice. Dang! The metal gorilla roared. Its metal muscles swelled, and its body became more burly. It continued to charge toward Lu Ming. That's what I wanted to say to you, said Lu Ming. He threw a punch. Dong, dong. The two of them started fighting fiercely. They kept exchanging blows. After a few breaths, they had exchanged over 100 attacks. The Metallic Creature Clan was extremely talented. Its entire body was made of metal. Its defense was incredible. Its strength was even greater than that of an ordinary clan. Ordinary cultivators of the Second Great Supreme God Layer would be easily crushed by the metallic gorilla. Of course, it wasn't a match for Lu Ming. It was under Lu Ming's control. However, Lu Ming couldn't show too much strength. After exchanging a few hundred attacks with the metallic gorilla, Lu Ming decided to use a method where both of them were injured. He didn't defend himself. He just attacked crazily. Boom! Lu Ming's body was hit by the metal gorilla's punch. His chest caved in and blood flowed out. At the same time, the metallic gorilla's abdomen was also hit by Lu Ming's fist. With a thud, a large part of the metal gorilla's body caved in. The metal gorilla's body staggered back, revealing a pained expression. Die! Shouted Lu Ming. He ignored his defense and attacked the metallic gorilla again. The two of them started fighting crazily. They attacked each other without any regard for defense. Both of them were hit continuously. Not long after, Lu Ming's body was in tatters. Many of his bones were broken. It was a terrifying sight. However, the metal gorilla was not in a better state. There were huge holes in its metal body, and some parts of its body were pierced. There was even one time when Lu Ming hit its neck, almost breaking its head off. The metallic gorilla's chi was getting weaker and weaker. Even though Lu Ming was heavily injured, his chi was still strong. Chapter 42-40. This kid has such a unique physique and strong recovery ability. No wonder he dared to use such an internecine battle method. Commander Tungsten whispered from above. This was what Lu Ming wanted Commander Tungsten to see. Commander Tungsten didn't suspect that Lu Ming was hiding his strength. He just thought that Lu Ming's vitality was strong and his recovery ability was superb. After being injured, he could quickly recover. Therefore, he was able to fight the metal gorilla to such an extent even though he was weaker than the latter.
He recalled that Lu Ming was injured in the battle with the six-eyed middle-aged man and recovered quickly. He was puzzled at first, but now he figured it out. It was all because of Lu Ming's strong recovery ability. Not bad, not bad. This kind of battle is exciting. Kid, don't die. Give me more exciting battles in the future. Commander Tungsten murmured to himself with excitement in his eyes. What he loved the most was this kind of bloody battle, a battle where both sides were evenly matched. He looked bored in this one-sided battle as he couldn't vent his negative emotions. On the fighting ring, Lu Ming and the metal gorilla were still fighting fiercely. However, the more they fought, the more obvious Lu Ming's advantage became. This was because his recovery ability was very strong. After being injured, he could quickly recover and his combat strength wasn't affected much. On the other hand, the metal gorilla couldn't. As the battle continued, its injuries became more serious and its combat strength became weaker. It had the upper hand at the beginning, but it was later suppressed by Lu Ming. In the end, it was completely suppressed by Lu Ming. It was no match for Lu Ming at all. After exchanging dozens of blows, there was a loud bang. Lu Ming blasted the head of the metal gorilla with a punch, killing it completely. Then, Lu Ming sat on the ground and gasped for breath. Pretending to be defeated and suppressing my strength is really tiring, Lu Ming muttered to himself. Suppressing his strength and exchanging blows was more tiring than fighting with all his strength. However, in the eyes of the Tungsten Pole Commander and the rest, they thought that Lu Ming was exhausted because he had gone all out to fight. Not bad, not bad. It was an exciting fight. Bring him down and let him fight after his injuries have healed, Commander Tung Ji said. Then, the red-robed old man brought Lu Ming back to the prison. After the red-robed elder left, Lu Ming immediately circulated his taboo power and the injuries on his body quickly healed. Your acting skills are not bad. The old man chuckled. Lu Ming ignored him and focused on recovering. After that, every 3 days, Commander Dong Ji would send Lu Ming to fight. Each time, he would send a cultivator of the second great supreme god layer, who was as strong as the metal gorilla. Every time, Lu Ming would deliberately suppress his strength, using the method of exchanging injury for injury to kill his opponent. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had already fought 5 times. On this day, Lu Ming was sitting cross-legged in the dungeon, quietly comprehending the secret technique. Boom! Suddenly, the dungeon shook violently as if there was an earthquake. The old man's eyes suddenly lit up, emitting a dazzling radiance. They're coming, someone is coming, the old man said. Lu Ming was also excited, looking forward to it. Rumble! The dungeon shook more and more violently, as if there was a powerful force constantly bombarding the ground. Kill, ha ha ha, kill. At the same time, a voice came from above, penetrating the stone wall, filled with a violent aura. Indeed, someone is coming, but judging from the voice, it doesn't seem like they've completely gone crazy. But their aura is very strong, not weaker than Commander Dong Ji. The old man listened and judged. It seems like there's more than one person coming. There's more. Lu Ming also listened carefully. Yes, there's more than one person. Look, they're going out. Our chance is here, the old man said. At this moment, the red-robed cultivators who were guarding the dungeon rushed out. There were not many people left. Our chance is here, let's take action, or it'll be too late, the old man hurriedly said, but before he could finish his words, he stopped abruptly, his eyes wide open, stunned. At this moment, a powerful aura erupted from Lu Ming's body, and at the same time, small snake-like runes spread out. These small snakes were the power of the restriction. But as soon as these rune-like small snakes appeared, they seemed to burn, turning into wisps of black smoke and disappearing. The restriction on Lu Ming's body disappeared without a trace. So fast, the old man was dumbfounded, stuttering as if something was stuck in his throat. He originally thought that even if Lu Ming could refine the restriction on his body, it would take a while. He did not expect Lu Ming to finish it as soon as he started. This speed was too fast. Let me help you. After refining the restriction on his body, Lu Ming immediately came in front of the old man, grabbed a chain, and poured the restriction energy into it. Bas! The chain vibrated slightly, and runes appeared on it. These runes were obviously stronger than the ones on Lu Ming's body, but under the effect of the restriction energy, the result was the same. The runes on the chain seemed to burn violently, then turned into wisps of black smoke and dissipated. It's done, I can feel my strength recovering. Ha ha! The old man was overjoyed. There were a total of 8 chains on his body, and now that Lu Ming had refined one of them, the restriction energy immediately loosened, and the old man felt his strength beginning to recover. Quick, continue, the old man shouted. This time, Lu Ming stretched out both hands, holding a chain in each hand, and began to pour the restriction energy. In just a breath's time, the power of the restriction on the 2 chains was refined by the taboo power. There were already 3 chains, and the old man felt his strength recover a little. Lu Ming did not stop, and continued to attack. Soon, the remaining 5 chains were refined by Lu Ming. Boom! When the restriction energy on the last chain was refined by Lu Ming, the old man immediately released a powerful qi. The qi was not very strong at first, but it increased very quickly. In less than half a minute, it had reached a level that shocked Lu Ming. Haha, let's go! The old man laughed and threw a punch, and the door of the dungeon exploded into pieces. The old man took the lead and walked out. Lu Ming followed closely behind him. How did you escape? You're courting death. As soon as Lu Ming and the others went out, a few people in red clothes noticed them. Even though some of them had gone out, some of them had stayed behind. Immediately, a few people in red clothes threw themselves at Lu Ming and the old man. They were extremely fast, and their qi was terrifying. One of them had the strength of the 4th Great Supreme God Layer. If Lu Ming fought him alone, he would not be able to defeat him. Chapter 42-41. A few people in red clothes threw themselves at Lu Ming and the old man. One of them had the strength of the 4th Great Supreme God Layer and the other 2 had the strength of the 3rd Great Supreme God Layer. You're courting death. The old man's eyes were filled with murderous intent. After being captured by Commander Teng Ji, he had been tortured endlessly. He was filled with hatred and murderous intent towards those people, but he had been suppressed before, so he could only endure. Now that he was free, how could he endure it? He immediately rushed towards the 3 people in red clothes. His claws were like sharp blades, and in a flash, the sky was filled with claw lights. Slash! Slash! The old man's silhouette flickered and the 3 people in red clothes didn't even have time to scream before they were torn to pieces. The difference between them was too great. Even though they had the strength of the 4th Great Supreme God Layer, they were still killed instantly. The old man's strength was unfathomable. He had been suppressed for so many years and had just been released. He obviously hadn't recovered to his peak strength, but he was still extremely strong. Let's go. It's not the time to take revenge. Wait until I'm fully recovered, then I'll flatten this place, said the old man to Lu Ming. Then, he walked up a flight of stairs. He hadn't lost his mind. He knew that it wasn't the time to take revenge. Very soon, Lu Ming and the elder left the ground and came to the surface. Boom! Boom! On the ground, the battle was extremely fierce. Lu Ming glanced around and saw that there were 2 main battlefields. Commander Teng Ji and a red-haired old man were fighting in the air. They were locked in a fierce battle. The red-haired old man's eyes were filled with bloodthirst. He was crazily attacking, but his strength was about the same as Commander Teng Ji's, so it was difficult to determine the winner. On the other battlefield, a group of people in red clothes were attacking 3 silhouettes. They were 3 gigantic red wolves. They were extremely strong. Even though there were only 3 of them and there were dozens of people in red clothes, they were still locked in a fierce battle. There were 7 or 8 corpses on the ground. They were all the people in red clothes. The 2 of them glanced at the corpses and didn't stop. They quickly rushed outside. Damn it! Damn it! Old man, stay here. High up in the sky, Tungsten let out a furious roar when he discovered Lu Ming and the old man. Tungsten, just you wait. Sooner or later, I will settle this debt with you. Oh, you must live well. Don't completely fall into madness before I come. The old man's voice was filled with mockery. Ah, don't even think about leaving. Commander Teng Ji roared and suddenly attacked, blocking the red-haired old man's attack. Then, he wanted to charge towards Lu Ming and the others. The old man had a way to block the heart flame demonic flame. He absolutely could not lose it. You want to leave? Dang! The red-haired old man roared crazily. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he charged towards the Tungsten Commander without regard for his life. The Tungsten Commander was almost hit, and he broke out in cold sweat. He didn't dare to be careless anymore. The other party's strength was in no way inferior to his. If he were to get careless, He could very well die in the other party's hands. You guys, go and stop those two. Commander Tungsten Commander could only order the red-robed men. Immediately, a few red-robed men chased after Lu Ming and the old man. Among them, there was even a fifth-layer Great Supreme God expert. However, the old man was extremely strong. He killed the fifth-layer Great Supreme God expert with a single attack. The other red-robed men were frightened and frantically retreated. Lu Ming and the elder dashed out very quickly and left at high speed. Damn it! Damn it! Commander Tungsten Commander roared anxiously. In the end, Commander Tungsten Commander's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness. Let's not fight anymore. I'll tell you, the old man who just ran away has a way to block the heart flame demonic flame. Commander Tungsten Commander roared. If this continued, Lu Ming and the old man would run away. He would lose the way to block the heart flame demonic flame. Therefore he simply roared. Even if he had to share it with the red-haired old man, he wouldn't hesitate. As expected, when the red-haired old man heard this, he immediately froze. The brutal murderous intent in his eyes instantly weakened. His eyes became clear, and then they were replaced by a strong desire. You're telling the truth? He really has a way to block the heart flame demonic flame? The red-haired old man asked in a trembling voice. He had been locked in the heavenly prison for many years. The heart flame demonic flame had corroded him greatly. The negative emotions in his heart were getting stronger and stronger. He was on the verge of going crazy. He had once wanted to submit to the Heavenly Palace and become the Heavenly Palace's Heaven Patroller. The Heavenly Palace's Heaven Patroller was actually the Heavenly Palace's hired thugs. However, because he had offended a genius of the Heavenly Palace, the Heavenly Palace didn't allow him to submit. He could only be locked in the heavenly prison for the rest of his life until he finally went crazy and died. He wasn't far from going completely crazy. If this continued, the outcome would be predictable. You better not lie to me, the red-haired old man shouted. Then he turned around and chased after Lu Ming and the old man. Commander Tungsten also stepped out. Like a beam of rainbow light, he chased after Lu Ming and the elder. Lu Ming and the old man flew at full speed. However, Commander Tung Ji and the red-haired old man were even faster. Soon, the distance between the two parties was shortened. Not good. I'll take you away. The old man's expression changed. He waved his hand and a divine power swept up Lu Ming. Then, he suddenly increased his speed and flew forward rapidly. The old man took Lu Ming and increased his speed by a few times. However, he was still slower than Commander Tung Ji and the red-haired old man. The three parties tore through the void like three bolts of lightning. However, the distance between Commander Tung Ji and the red-haired old man and Lu Ming was still gradually shortened. The old man hadn't fully recovered. Now that he was carrying Lu Ming, his speed was more or less affected. Naturally, he wasn't as fast as Commander Tung Ji and the others. If this continued, they would catch up sooner or later. Do you have any fake secret manuals or jade talismans on you? Throw them out and let them snatch them. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to the old man. The old man's eyes lit up and revealed a trace of joy. He transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. Little guy, you're young but you have a lot of thoughts. However, this is a good idea. Haha, of course, the old man didn't immediately take out a fake one. Instead, he continued to fly for a distance. Seeing that the distance was getting closer, the old man put on a forced expression and roared, "If you want a technique to resist the heart flame devil fire, I'll give it to you." After saying that, the old man waved his hand and a jade talisman flew out like lightning towards Commander Tung Ji. Commander Tung Ji's eyes lit up and he reached out to grab the jade talisman. However, how could the red-haired old man let him have his way? He roared, "Get lost. This is mine." Chapter 42-42. The red-haired elder roared and charged towards Commander Tung Ji. His violent attack seemed like he wanted to tear Commander Tung Ji into pieces. Commander Tung Ji had no choice but to fight back with all his might. Although he had his doubts, he doubted the authenticity of the technique that the elder threw out. However, he could not take the risk. What if it was real? Wouldn't it fall into the hands of the red-haired elder? Once it fell into the hands of the red-haired elder, he could forget about getting it. Therefore, he had to fight with all his might to get the jade talisman. While Commander Tung Ji and the red-haired elder were fighting fiercely, Lu Ming and Jian Wushuang took the opportunity to fly and disappeared from the area in the blink of an eye.
The elder carried Lu Ming and flew at full speed. They flew continuously for a day before they found a place to stop and take a rest. With his speed, flying for a day was too long. It was impossible for Commander Teng Ji to catch up with them. Senior Hao Lu, can you teach me the technique to resist the heart flame demon fire now?
Lu Ming looked at the old man and said to him.
Hao Lu was the elder's name. Hee, little guy. Do you really think there's a technique to resist the heart flame demon fire? Hao Lu chuckled. Lu Ming's face changed. Senior, what do you mean? To tell you the truth, there's no technique to resist the heart flame demon fire at all. Hao Lu said. What? Lu Ming's face darkened. He stared at Hao Lu and said, You've been playing with me since the beginning? Could Hao Lu have been deceiving Lu Ming from the beginning so that Lu Ming could help him escape? However, why did Commander Teng Ji think that Hao Lu had a technique to resist the heart flame demon fire? Could he have been deceived by Hao Lu too? Lu Ming's face became more and more unpleasant. If not for Hao Lu's strength being too strong, he would have already taken action to suppress Hao Lu. Little guy, don't be too agitated. Let me finish. Hao Lu was still smiling mischievously. Lu Ming stared at Hao Lu with a gloomy face. He didn't say anything, obviously waiting for Hao Lu to continue. Although I don't have a technique to block the heart flame devil fire, I do have a treasure that can block it. Vast Willow said. A treasure that can resist the heart flame devil fire? Lu Ming was puzzled. Yes. Otherwise, why would that Commander Teng Ji believe that I possess a method to resist the heart flame devil fire? He saw that I was not affected by the heart flame devil fire, and thought that I possessed a method to resist it. I naturally beat him at his own game and made him believe that I possess a method to resist the heart flame devil fire. As long as I do not reveal the method, he will not kill me, Hao Lu explained. You're willing to give me a treasure that can withstand the heart flame devil fire? Lu Ming's expression was still ugly. Could it be that there were several treasures that could resist the heart flame devil fire? If there was only one, why would Hao Lu give it to him? Lu Ming was seriously doubtful. This type of treasure that can resist the heart flame devil fire is called the heart jade. This type of heart jade is a consumable item. If it is placed on one's body, it will naturally allow one's mind to remain clear and not be affected by the heart flame devil fire. However, if one continuously uses it, the heart jade will gradually decrease until it finally disappears. I was fortunate enough to obtain a piece of heart jade back then and have already used it for many years. Vast Willow said. You're still playing with me? Lu Ming's eyes flickered with cold light. What's the point of talking about it when it has already been used up? Young man, why are you so impatient? Will you die if you listen to me? Vast Willow said unhappily. Lu Ming felt disdain in his heart. Who was the one who spoke in paragraphs and said to stop for a while? Although the heart jade will be used up, there is a place in the heavenly prison where one can obtain heart jade. I also need to obtain another heart jade. Therefore, I will bring you to the place that produces heart jade. As for whether you can obtain it or not, it will depend on your luck. This old man promises that I will do my best to obtain one for you. Vast Willow said. There is actually such a place in the heavenly prison? Lu Ming was extremely surprised. There was actually a place that produced heart jade in the heavenly prison, and the heart jade was able to resist the heart flame devil fire. In that case, wouldn't it be useless to lock someone up in the heavenly prison? Little brat, you don't have to be happy too early. The production of heart jade is very low, and it can only be found in that place. The competition there is extremely huge. Many terrifying experts will gather there, ready to fight for it at any time. Even if we go there, we might not be able to obtain a heart jade. Vast Willow said. Then why didn't Commander Tungsten and the others fight for it? Lu Ming asked curiously. The heavenly prison is very vast. The place where the heart jade is produced is very far from here. It is normal that the news did not spread here. In addition, those who know about the heart jade will treat it as their own secret and will not easily tell others. Because the more people who know about it, the more competition there will be. No one wants to have more competitors. Vast Willow explained. Lu Ming nodded. This explanation made sense. Because the heart jade was a consumable item, it would be used up after a period of time. It needed to be obtained continuously. Therefore, the fewer people who knew about it, the better it would be. Therefore, Commander Tungsten had misunderstood and thought that Vast Willow had a method to resist the heart flame devil fire. Everything made sense now. Lu Ming's suspicions slowly faded away. Let's rest for a while and then set off. That place is not close. Vast Willow said. The two of them rested for a whole day. Then, Vast Willow led the way. With a great expert like Hao Lu, their speed was much faster. Vast Willow was extremely strong. Lu Ming guessed that Vast Willow had the strength of the 6th Great Supreme God Layer, or even the 7th Great Supreme God Layer. A cultivator of the 7th Great Supreme God Layer was already extremely strong. He could easily kill a cultivator of the 6th Great Supreme God Layer. Not to mention Lu Ming's strength. Therefore, even if they met some crazy people on the way, they would not be a threat to them. Instead, Vast Willow would kill them easily. Unless they met some extremely terrifying people. Once Vast Willow sensed those extremely terrifying people, Vast Willow would take Lu Ming and take a detour. Just like that, they traveled for half a month. During this period of time, Lu Ming felt that the negative emotions in his heart had become a little more serious. Although it was just a little bit and did not affect Lu Ming for the time being, it was indeed becoming more and more serious. If it accumulated over a long period of time, it would be extremely terrifying. This problem had to be solved. Lu Ming had to get the heart jade. Half a month later, according to Vast Willow, they were finally close to the place where the heart jade was produced. It was a desolate mountain range. There were all kinds of pitch-black trees growing on the mountain. It looked ferocious and terrifying. We're almost at the place where the heart jade is produced, the Heart Jade Demon Cave. There are always strong cultivators hiding around this area. We have to be careful, Vast Willow warned. His expression became serious. Chapter 42-43. Hao Lu and Lu Ming landed on the ground and started walking. Stop. Suddenly, Hao Lu spoke. His voice carried a trace of seriousness as he swept the surroundings with his gaze. Lu Ming stopped and followed Hao Lu closely. It wasn't a joke. Even Hao Lu looked serious. Lu Ming's cultivation level wasn't high enough. Of course, he had to follow Hao Lu. Hao Lu glanced around. After a while, he withdrew his chi and said, "Let's go. It's safe now." Did they leave? Asked Lu Ming. Indeed. They only have the strength of the 6th Great Supreme God Layer. They knew they couldn't defeat me, so they left, said Hao Lu. The two of them continued walking. They didn't encounter any danger for the rest of the journey. Around half an hour later. We're here, Hao Lu suddenly said as he looked ahead with bright eyes. Lu Ming also looked ahead and narrowed his eyes. There was a gigantic cliff in front of them. That cliff was tens of thousands of li high, and it was at least 100 million li long. It was very smooth, as if someone had cut it open with a blade. Half of it was still there and the other half had disappeared. There was a cave in the middle of the cliff. That cave was round and gigantic. It was at least a few thousand li wide. From a distance, the cave was pitch black. It looked like a gigantic mouth that was going to swallow everything. Outside the cave, there were many people scattered around. There were at least 100 of them. Because the cave was gigantic, it didn't seem crowded even though there were over 100 people scattered around. That cave is the Evil Jade Cave. The Evil Jade Cave came from that cave. But that cave is very dangerous. Sometimes, a terrifying energy comes out of it. Even a cultivator of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer will be severely injured or even die. Only a Divine Lord can break in. But there are no Divine Lords in the prison of the Heavenly Palace. The Divine Lords are locked up in other places in the Heavenly Palace. Therefore, it is impossible to rush into the cave to obtain the Jade Heart. The only way is to wait outside the cave. Occasionally, Jade Hearts will rush out of the Devil Jade Heart Cave. If you want to obtain a Jade Heart, you have to wait for it to rush out before snatching it, explained Hao Lu. Lu Ming's expression was grave. The difficulty of obtaining the Heart Jade was much greater than he had imagined. Lu Ming sized up the hundreds of people present. All of them were experts. Even the weakest among them were far stronger than him. Many of them were not weaker than Hao Lu, and some were even stronger than Hao Lu. In other words, any one of them could easily kill Lu Ming. How could he obtain the Jade Heart? He could only play it by ear. Follow me, Hao Lu said as he walked towards the Heart Jade Magic Cave. Lu Ming followed closely behind Hao Lu as they slowly approached the Heart Jade Magic Cave. As they walked, Lu Ming sized up those people. These people came from all kinds of races. There were some races that even Lu Ming had never heard of. These people were all standing in different positions.
Some were closer to the Heart Jade Demon Cave, while others were further away from it. There were even some people who were almost standing at the entrance of the Heart Jade Devil Cave. Those who were closer to the Heart Jade Devil Cave were the stronger ones, while those who were weaker were further away from the entrance. That was enough to prove how terrifying the Heart Jade Devil Cave was. As Lu Ming and Hao Lu approached, they attracted many people's gazes. Cold, cruel and bloodthirsty gazes fell upon Lu Ming and Hao Lu. Especially Lu Ming. He was the focus of many people's gazes. Hee, interesting. A mere divine emperor dares to come here. Do you want to snatch the jade heart from us? A cold voice sounded. You're overestimating yourself. You're courting death. Another disdainful voice sounded. Those who dared to come here were at least cultivators of the sixth great supreme god layer. Lu Ming was just a divine emperor. Any one of them could easily kill Lu Ming. A divine emperor dared to come here to snatch the jade heart from them. That was just wishful thinking. He was overestimating himself. There were even a few eyes that were filled with cold, murderous intent. They had the feeling that they would kill Lu Ming at any time. However, when their eyes swept past Hao Lu, they forcefully suppressed their murderous intent. Hao Lu made them feel a sense of danger, making them feel apprehensive. They weren't sure that they could defeat Hao Lu. If they attacked him, they might get injured. If they got injured in that place, their strength would be weakened and they could be attacked by others. That was extremely dangerous. After a short while, Lu Ming and Hao Lu arrived at an open space, about 1,000 li away from the entrance of the Heart Jade Devil Cave. Then, they calmly waited. Whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, a whistling sound came from the Heart Jade Devil Cave. It sounded like a gust of wind. They're here, Hao Lu suddenly said, staring at the Heart Jade Devil Cave. The others were the same. Their eyes were twinkling as they stared at the Heart Jade Devil Cave. Whoosh whoosh. The whistling sound of the wind became louder. Suddenly, rays of black light flew out from the Heart Jade Devil Cave. These rays of light formed arcs, like curved blades, flying out from the Heart Jade Devil Cave in all directions. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Those who were close to the Heart Jade Devil Cave immediately used their movement skills, flashing rapidly and dodging the rays of black light. At Lu Ming and Hao Lu's side, there were 3 rays of light that flew over at an astonishing speed. Be careful. Don't take it head-on. These rays of light are extremely terrifying. You can't take it head-on. Hao Lu's voice rang in Lu Ming's ears. The rays of light were extremely fast. As soon as Hao Lu's voice fell, the 3 rays of light approached. Great God Wind Skill. With a thought, Lu Ming cast the Great Divine Wind Skill. It flickered continuously in the surroundings, transforming into many phantoms and dodging the 3 arc-shaped lights. At the same time, Hao Lu also used his movement skill to dodge the 3 rays of light. In the other directions, those people also avoided all the arc-shaped lights. These people had been here for quite some time, so they were very familiar with the rays of light. Moreover, they were careful enough, so none of them were hit by the rays of light. However, the rays of light were not limited to that. Whoosh whoosh. The whistling sound in the Heart Jade Devil Cave did not stop. In the next moment, more rays of light flew out. This time, there were even more rays of light. This time, there were a total of 5 rays of light that flew towards Lu Ming and Hao Lu. This time, Lu Ming was prepared. He used his movement skill to the extreme and successfully dodged the 5 rays of light. It was the same for those in the other directions. None of them were hit. After this wave of rays of light flew out, the Heart Jade Devil Cave calmed down and returned to its previous calmness. This time, there is no Heart Jade. Hao Lu revealed a look of disappointment. The others were the same. They were more or less disappointed. Chapter 42-44. Every time, the jade heart would appear together with this kind of arc-shaped light. When the arc-shaped light flies out, sometimes the jade heart would fly out together with it. However, it doesn't appear every time. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Hao Lu explained. Lu Ming nodded but didn't say anything. This brat is actually still alive. A bewildered voice came from the side, sounding very surprised. The others were the same. They all looked at Lu Ming in surprise. The arc light that flew out of the Heart Jade Magic Cave was extremely fast. Originally, they thought that Lu Ming, a divine emperor, would not be able to dodge it unless Hao Lu helped him. However, just now, Lu Ming didn't need Hao Lu's help at all. He relied on himself to avoid those arc-shaped lights. This surprised them. This kid's movement technique is very fast. No wonder he dares to come to this place. However, if he only relies on his movement technique, he won't be able to obtain the Jade Heart. Hee hee. Someone sneered. Lu Ming didn't say anything from the beginning to the end. Those people also felt bored and did not continue to speak. The scene fell into silence again as everyone continued to wait. The wait lasted for half a month. Hoo. Half a month later, the Heart Jade Magic Cave once again resounded with the sound of howling winds. Everyone's spirits were lifted again. Within the Heart Jade Devil Cave, another arc of light was about to erupt. Every time an arc of light erupted, it meant that there was a chance that a heart jade would appear. Swish, swish, swish. In the next moment, a large number of arc-shaped lights flew out of the Heart Jade Devil Cave. This time, there were many arcs of light. From afar, it looked like the entire cave was filled with arcs of light. The experts who were closest to the cave used their movement techniques to the extreme, constantly flashing, avoiding the arcs of light. A large number of arc-shaped lights flew out of the cave and fanned out in all directions. This time, a total of 7 arc-shaped lights flew toward Lu Ming and Hao Lu. Lu Ming executed his movement technique and flashed with all his might, dodging the arcs of light. Heart Jade! It's the Heart Jade! Suddenly, a cry of surprise sounded. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as he looked at the entrance of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. He saw a piece of white jade, about the size of a fist, flying out of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. It was extremely eye-catching among the arc-shaped lights. That was the Heart Jade. Many people's eyes lit up, especially those who were close to the cave entrance. Finally, a Heart Jade. Very few Heart Jades flew out of the Heart Jade Devil Cave. On average, only one Heart Jade would fly out of the Heart Jade Devil Cave every year. Those who were unlucky would have to wait a few years to see them. Every piece of Heart Jade was very precious. Not only could it save one's life, it could also reduce the pain caused by negative emotions. However, this piece of jade heart was enveloped by 3 arcs of light and flew out together. The experts closest to the cave originally wanted to rush over, but when they saw this scene, they stopped abruptly. These arcs of light were too terrifying. They could not block them at all. The Heart Jade was enveloped by the 3 arcs of light. They could not obtain it at all. They could only wait for the arc-shaped lights to disperse. With a swoosh, the jade heart flew past the people closest to the entrance of the cave along with a few arcs of light, flying towards the outside. After flying outside, the 3 arcs of light scattered and flew in all directions. The Heart Jade was still flying in one direction. This time, there were no arc-shaped lights. The eyes of the people in that direction lit up. They were burning with passion. The Heart Jade is mine. Get lost. The Heart Jade is mine. Many people shouted angrily as they threw themselves at the Heart Jade. Those people had been affected by the Heart Flame and Demon Fire. They were filled with all kinds of violent emotions. When they saw the Heart Jade, they went crazy. At least 10 people threw themselves at the Heart Jade from that direction. A fierce battle broke out in an instant. Boom, boom, boom. Dazzling divine light flickered, and the fierce battle reached its climax in an instant. More than 10 people were fighting in a chaotic battle. A cultivator of the 6th Great Supreme God Layer gave a horrible shriek. His head was cut off and his soul was destroyed. He died on the spot. But a moment later, the one who had killed him, a cultivator of the 7th Great Supreme God Layer, was pushed back by another cultivator of the 7th Great Supreme God Layer. Behind that person, an arc-shaped light was flying. Slash! The arc of light cut through that person's body. That person's face was filled with endless terror. Then with a bang, his body turned into a pile of dust. A cultivator of the 7th Great Supreme God Layer had been killed by an arc-shaped light. His body and soul had been destroyed. Lu Ming gasped a breath of cold air. Hao Lu had told him that the arc-shaped lights were terrifying. Even cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer would be severely injured if they didn't die. But hearing about it was one thing. When he saw it with his own eyes, he was still astonished. How strong were cultivators of the 7th Great Supreme God Layer? In the primitive universe, he was definitely an expert who could dominate a region. In the Heavenly Palace, he could be a high-level divine general. However, he was hit by an arc of light and died just like that. However, the battle didn't stop even though those people had died. The battle was still intense. Very quickly, 2 more people had died. One of them had been killed by someone else, and the other one had also been killed by the arc-shaped light. After a long battle, a cultivator of the 7th Great Supreme God layer finally obtained the Heart Jade. After that person obtained the Heart Jade, he flew away, intending to leave. If he didn't leave with the Heart Jade, he would be attacked by the others. Besides, that Heart Jade was enough for him to use for a long time. "You want to leave? Give me the Heart Jade and I'll spare your life," shouted a tall and sturdy silhouette, chasing after that person. That tall and sturdy silhouette had a thick and dense chi. He was a cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. The 2 of them, one running and one chasing, quickly disappeared from this place. The others didn't chase after them. Their silhouettes flickered as they dodged the remaining arc-shaped lights. The battle stopped. Compared to before, there were 4 less people. 4 Great Supreme God layer cultivators had died. "Fuck!" shouted a few people who were closest to the hole. Their eyes were filled with ferocious lights. Some of the others also sighed inwardly. Slowly, the scene calmed down. Everybody continued waiting. Time passed quickly. Another half a month passed. Whistling sounds spread in the air again. More arc-shaped lights flew out, but this time, there was no Heart Jade. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been here for half a year. Every half a month, there would be 1 or 2 waves of arcs of light flying out. However, ever since the last time a piece of jade heart flew out, there were no more jade hearts. Everybody was very patient. They didn't get impatient and continued waiting. Hoo-hoo. Finally, a whistling sound came from the Heart Jade magic cave again, and arcs of light flew out. This time, there were a few white dots in the arc-shaped lights. Chapter 42-45. The crowd frowned because there were a few white dots in the middle of the lights. Those white dots were emitting a milky white light which was dazzling to the crowd. Jade heart. Jade heart. This time, a few jade hearts had appeared at the same time, which was extremely rare. Many people's eyes turned red and they released a powerful chi. They were ready to attack at any time. Swish, swish, swish. A large number of lights flew out and a few jade hearts also flew out. There were 4 of them in total. 4 jade hearts had flown out at the same time. It was a rare sight. I must get the jade hearts. I must get them. This time I must get one. Many people roared in their hearts as they stared at the jade hearts that were flying out at high speed. Very quickly, the 4 jade hearts approached the entrance of the cave. Of the 4 jade hearts, 3 of them were surrounded by lights and it was difficult to get them. But one of them didn't have any lights around it and it was flying towards them alone. Swish! Swish! Immediately, 2 strong cultivators rushed towards that jade heart. Those 2 strong cultivators had dared to stay at the entrance of the cave, so they were the strongest cultivators there. They had the strength of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. They were extremely fast and quickly approached the jade hearts. Both of them launched their attacks at the same time. Terrifying killing power blasted towards each other. Boom! Violent explosions spread in the air. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had already exchanged a few dozen attacks. Neither of them had managed to get the jade hearts. The jade hearts flew to the other side while they were fighting. "Piss off!" shouted a skinny big man furiously. He turned into an eagle and flapped his wings. His figure flickered and he flew towards the jade hearts at an incredible speed. "Don't even think about it. The jade hearts are mine. How could the other one let him have them?" He also reverted back to his original form and charged over, exchanging blows with the goshawk. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged a dozen attacks. The goshawk was careless and its wing was hit by an arc of light. The goshawk screamed and retreated. At the same time, a feather flew out from its body and turned into a divine sword. It slashed at its own body, and with a poof, half of its body was cut off. This way, even though he was heavily injured, he managed to preserve his life. If he hadn't done so, even if his wings had only been hit by the arc of light, the destructive energy in the arc of light would have completely destroyed him. Song Ying was injured, so the jade heart was taken by another cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. As soon as this person obtained the jade heart, he dashed outside, not intending to stay. There were more than 1 or 2 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer there. If things calmed down, he would be surrounded. 2 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer were fighting over the jade heart. It took a long time to describe,
but it actually happened in a flash. At this moment, the other 3 jades of heart flew out. As soon as they flew out, the arcs of light scattered in all directions, revealing the 3 jade hearts. This time, the scene was completely chaotic. The heart jade is mine. I must get it. Kill. Almost everyone moved and rushed towards the 3 pieces of jades of heart. Little guy, be careful. I'm going to snatch the heart jade. Hao Lu said and also rushed towards a piece of jade heart. Lu Ming didn't move. With his cultivation level, he wasn't strong enough to join the battle. If he joined the battle, the shock waves of the battle would be enough to kill him. He used the great godly wind technique to dodge the arcs of light while waiting for an opportunity. Boom boom boom. With the jade hearts as the core, the area was divided into 3 battlefields. There were at least a few dozen people in each area. The battle was too fierce. In just a short while, people were killed. Some people were killed by other strong cultivators, and some people were accidentally hit by the arcs of light and died. Lu Ming saw that Hao Lu was also in danger. He had almost been hit by an arc of light. The battle had only lasted for half a minute, but more than 10 strong cultivators had already died. However, no one had managed to snatch the jade hearts. There were too many strong cultivators. If anyone got close to the jade hearts, they would be attacked by others. The jade hearts were flying back and forth in the strong qi. They didn't know what the jade hearts were made of, but they were extremely hard. Surprisingly, they were safe and sound in the strong qi. Swish! Suddenly, on the battlefield to the left of Lu Ming, the jade hearts were hit by the strong qi and suddenly flew to one side. There was no one on that side. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This was a good opportunity. Should he make a move? Lu Ming had mastered the Great Teleportation Technique and the Great Aurora Technique. If he made a move, he would definitely be able to get the jade hearts. Lu Ming's mind raced, and dozens of ideas flashed through his mind. In the end, Lu Ming decided to make a move. There was no other reason. The jade hearts were too important. If he didn't have the jade hearts, Lu Ming would sooner or later go crazy because of his negative emotions. However, he would definitely end up in a miserable state. Rather than that, he might as well give it a try. After making up his mind, Lu Ming didn't hesitate anymore and used the Great Aurora Technique. Swish! Lu Ming turned into an aurora and rushed out. In an instant, he was close to the jade hearts. He reached out and successfully grabbed the jade hearts in his hand. Success! Lu Ming was overjoyed. Just as he was about to use the Great Aurora Technique to rush out, a terrifying sword light slashed at Lu Ming from the side. Its power was extremely terrifying. If he was hit, Lu Ming was sure that he would definitely die. Kid! Hand over the jade hearts. A roar filled with killing intent came out. There were already people rushing towards Lu Ming. It was too late to retreat. Great Teleportation Technique. Lu Ming wanted to use the Great Teleportation Technique to leave, but in the next moment, his face changed greatly. The Great Teleportation Technique couldn't be used because the space in this area was filled with arcs of light. These arcs of light severely affected the space. This space was extremely unstable and chaotic. If Lu Ming forcefully used the Great Teleportation Technique, he would most likely be teleported to one of the arcs of light. At this moment, the others also rushed towards Lu Ming. Little boy, you're courting death. A trifling divine emperor wants to get the jade hearts? I swear you're dead. Even if you hand over the jade hearts now, I'll still kill you. Wishful thinking. Dozens of strong cultivators' silhouettes flickered, dodging the arcs of light and rushing towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming couldn't use the Great Teleportation Technique, so he had no choice but to run towards the other side. Lu Ming was extremely fast. He dodged the arcs of light and kept moving forward. However, compared to those cultivators of the 7th or 8th Great Supreme God layer, he was still much slower. Dang! A skinny middle-aged man was holding a long silver sword. He slashed with his long sword and several sword gleams slashed toward Lu Ming. Chapter 42-46. A few silver sword gleams slashed toward Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. The most shocking thing was that these few sword gleams could actually turn. They seemed to be alive. Like many long snakes, they kept slithering in the air, avoiding the arc-shaped lights and charging toward Lu Ming. In the blink of an eye, they had caught up with Lu Ming. They had blocked Lu Ming's 3 directions. The only direction that wasn't blocked was the direction of the Evil Heart Jade Cave. because that direction didn't need to be blocked. The 3 sword lights were terrifyingly powerful. In the blink of an eye, they were closing in on Lu Ming. Any one of them could instantly kill Lu Ming because they were from a cultivator of the 8th great supreme god layer. There was no way out. Without the slightest hesitation, Lu Ming moved towards the direction where there were no sword lights. Boom boom. The sword lights missed and collided with the arcs of light, then disappeared without a trace. However, right after that, 2 silver sword gleams dashed toward Lu Ming like long silver snakes. Fuck! Lu Ming bellowed in his heart. However, he had no choice but to continue evading the attacks. He dodged the 2 silver sword lights. But in the next instant, Lu Ming's facial expression drastically changed. Because one of the arcs of light was moving straight towards Lu Ming's face. Just now, he was focused on dodging the few silver sword lights, and most of his attention was on the silver sword lights. In a moment of carelessness, he actually rushed towards an arc of light. The 2 of them were too close and the arcs of light were too fast. It was too late to dodge. At that critical moment, Lu Ming had no choice but to use all his strength to condense forbidden energy in his hand. His hand was like a blade, slashing towards the arcs of light. There was no other way. Lu Ming couldn't just sit there and wait for death. He could only do his best to resist, even though Lu Ming wasn't sure he could succeed. That little boy is dead. The evil heart jade is mine. I must get it. When the others saw that Lu Ming was slashing towards the arcs of light, they were smiling coldly. They thought that Lu Ming was going to die. They sped up and rushed towards the evil heart jade. As soon as Lu Ming was killed by the arcs of light, they would try to snatch the evil heart jade. Slash! A clear and melodious sound spread in the air. The sound was similar to what the crowd had expected, but the situation was the opposite. It wasn't Lu Ming who had been slashed, it was the arcs of light. Lu Ming's palm slashed down. The arc-shaped light was like a bubble. It was split into 2 by Lu Ming and then dissipated without a trace. In an instant, everyone's eyes were wide open. Why wasn't Lu Ming dead? Instead, he was able to scatter the arc-shaped light? The arc-shaped light was like a bubble in Lu Ming's hands. If not for the fact that they knew how terrifying the arc-shaped light was, they would have really thought that it was like a bubble that could be easily extinguished. They knew how terrifying the arcs of light were. Even cultivators of the 9th great supreme god layer would be severely injured if they were hit by the arcs of light. Only a few of them would be severely injured. Most of them would die if they were hit by the arcs of light. Lu Ming was just a piece of trash of the divine emperor layer. How could he have slashed the arcs of light? To be honest, even Lu Ming himself was surprised. Just now, he also thought that he was most likely going to die here. He had attacked with all his strength out of instinct. No matter what, he wouldn't give up. He hadn't thought that the arcs of light would be so useless. Could it be because of my forbidden strength? Lu Ming suddenly thought of his forbidden strength. When the arcs of light had collided with his forbidden strength, the arcs of light had been destroyed. It was because of his forbidden strength. That's right. The taboo force is known as the taboo force. It is the most powerful force in the universe. Many types of energy can be restrained by the taboo force. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Let's try again. With that thought, Lu Ming waved his hand again. The forbidden strength condensed into a palm and slashed at the arcs of light. Puff! That arc of light was really like a bubble. It emitted a slight sound and then dissipated. It's really effective. Lu Ming was overjoyed. As for the others, they all came to their senses. This kid is not afraid of the arcs of light. Miracle, miracle, I must capture this kid. This kid is a supreme treasure. These people were all roaring in their hearts. Their eyes were burning with flames of greed. They were even greedier than when they were looking at the jades of hearts. Lu Ming was not afraid of the arcs of light. As long as they captured Lu Ming and made Lu Ming listen to them, they could have as many jades of hearts as they wanted. At this moment, those people were not rushing towards Lu Ming for the jades of hearts. They wanted to capture Lu Ming. You want to capture me now? No way. Lu Ming smiled coldly and immediately used the Great Aurora technique. He turned into a beam of light and moved towards the entrance of the magic jade cave. His entire body was covered in forbidden energy. Wherever he went, the arcs of light that came into contact with him would disperse. In a flash, Lu Ming arrived at the entrance of the magic jade cave. Little boy, stay here. If you dare to move again, I swear I'll make sure you die a horrible death.
A few silhouettes also rushed towards the entrance of the magic jade cave. Those people were all cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. They were extremely strong. However, Lu Ming didn't feel like paying attention to them. He turned around and rushed towards the magic jade cave. In the blink of an eye, he had already traveled a few dozen li. At that moment, the arcs of light in the magic jade cave were about to end. There were no more arcs of light flying out. However, when those cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer arrived at the entrance of the magic jade cave, they didn't dare chase after him. Even though the magic jade cave was calm and peaceful when the arcs of light didn't appear, as if it was safe, as long as someone dared to go in, the magic jade cave would explode and kill them all. Jades of the heart flew out from the heart jade magic cave. One could imagine that the heart jade magic cave contained a large number of jades of the heart. How could it not be coveted? Many people had wanted to take advantage of the fact that the arcs of light hadn't exploded to go into the magic jade cave and steal the jades of hearts, but they had all died. They had all died in the cave. Their souls had all been destroyed. None of them had survived. Otherwise, those people wouldn't have dared to stay outside the magic jade cave. Little boy, you're good. I'll give you a suggestion. Go into the magic jade cave and bring the jades of hearts out to me. Then I'll spare your life. Otherwise, you'll have to stay in there forever," said a cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God layer coldly. "Indeed, that's what I wanted to say too," said another cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. He was on the other side of the magic jade cave. Even if Lu Ming went into the magic jade cave, so what? Chapter 42-47. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. A few more silhouettes appeared at the entrance of the demonic jade cave. They were all cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. "Little boy, you better be obedient. Go in and take the jades out. Otherwise, this old man will die miserably." "I know you're on the same side," said another cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. He was holding someone. It was Hao Lu. Hao Lu was captured. Hao Lu and Lu Ming had come together. Everybody had seen that. When they saw that Lu Ming could break the lights, some cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer immediately attacked Hao Lu. Hao Lu only had the strength of the 7th Great Supreme God layer. Of course, he couldn't compete with those cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God layer. "Little brother, save me!" Hao Lu cried out loudly with a panicked expression. Those people were under the influence of the demonic fire. They killed people without batting an eyelid. If they were angry, they would kill him. He was scared to death. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. At the very least, Hao Lu's character was not bad. Previously, when they were being chased by the Tungsten Commander and the rest, he brought Lu Ming along and did not escape alone. Lu Ming remembered this in his heart. If there was a way, he would help Hao Lu. But how could he help him now? Besides, even though those people didn't dare come in, they were blocking the entrance. Even if he went into the depths of the demonic jade cave and obtained a large number of jades, he wouldn't be able to get out. Even if he got out, those people would probably join hands to kill him and steal his jades. Unless there was another exit in the depths of the demonic jade cave. He had to try. "You better not touch him. Otherwise, even if I get the jades, I won't take them out. We'll just die together." Lu Ming stared coldly at the person who grabbed Hao Lu. "Don't worry. I'm a man of my word. If you can take the jades out, I'll let him go," said the cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God layer smiling. Then, Lu Ming didn't say anything else. He turned around and went into the depths of the demonic jade cave. Now, he could only take one step at a time. First, he would enter the heart jade magic cave and see what was going on before making further plans. Everyone stared at Lu Ming, watching as Lu Ming walked step by step towards the heart jade devil cave. Lu Ming's speed wasn't very fast. Although he had a taboo power that could break through the arcs of light, he didn't dare to be careless. Who knew if there were any other dangers in the depths of the heart jade magic cave? Lu Ming's body was shrouded in taboo energy as he moved forward step by step. Soon, Lu Ming was 100 li deep into the heart jade devil cave. Rumble! Suddenly, a faint rumbling sound came from the heart jade magic cave. Lu Ming felt the ground tremble slightly. Lu Ming's heart tightened. He focused his attention and pushed his taboo energy to the limit. Then, Lu Ming felt a terrifying energy rush out from the front of the heart jade magic cave. This energy was like a tidal wave, covering the entire cave, leaving no gaps. It was impossible to dodge, so he could only take it head-on. In the blink of an eye, this terrifying energy appeared not far in front of Lu Ming. At this time, Lu Ming made his move. His palm was like a knife, constantly slashing out. Palm energy bombarded the surging waves. These waves looked terrifying, but after being hit by Lu Ming's palm energy, they were directly split apart, creating a huge hole. It's effective. This energy is exactly the same as the arcs of light. It can be restrained by my taboo energy. Lu Ming's eyes lit up, and he became more confident. Next, Lu Ming continued to attack, directly destroying this energy. Lu Ming strode forward without any hindrance. Towards the end, Lu Ming's speed became faster and faster, and he completely disappeared from everyone's sight. This kid, what kind of energy does he have to be able to break through the arcs of light? He's really powerful. No wonder he was imprisoned by the heavenly palace. Haha, as long as we stay here and wait for this kid to come out, the heart jade will be ours. We won't have to fear the heart flame devil fire anymore. Outside the cave, some people were laughing, looking forward to Lu Ming's appearance. The heart jade devil cave was very deep. Lu Ming walked forward for a distance of more than 10,000 miles. Along the way, he encountered several energy attacks, but they were all easily broken by him. After moving forward for a while, Lu Ming's spirit was lifted. He had finally reached the end of the heart jade devil cave, and a huge space appeared in front of him. Lu Ming quickened his pace and came to this space. This space seemed to be an underground space. It was very wide and spacious. Yes, spacious. Lu Ming looked around, and there was nothing here. What heart jade? He didn't see a single piece. What's going on? Lu Ming frowned. The heart jade clearly flew out from here, but why didn't he see a single piece of it here? Something's not right. Suddenly, Lu Ming made a discovery. He discovered that there were lines of runes on the ground or on the walls. Although the light was dim, it was still seen by Lu Ming. This spacious space was full of such runes. A large formation. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that this was a large formation. This heart jade devil cave was not formed naturally, but man-made. At this thought, Lu Ming's heart turned cold. Ha ha ha, after so many years, someone finally came in. Great, my race's many years of planning finally didn't go to waste. Suddenly, a few laughter sounded. The laughter was filled with ecstasy. Then, a figure flashed, and a few figures suddenly appeared in this space. There were more than a dozen of them. There's really someone. Lu Ming was shocked and instinctively wanted to retreat, but the space behind Lu Ming fluctuated slightly, and a figure already appeared behind Lu Ming. What fast speed! Lu Ming sucked in a breath of cold air. This person's speed was too shocking, exceeding his reaction time. Lu Ming's body also stiffened. He knew that this was a terrifying powerhouse. If he wanted to kill him, he absolutely had no room to resist. If there's no other way, I can only take out the purple copper coffin and risk it all. Lu Ming focused his mind and communicated with the purple copper coffin. Once something was wrong, he would take out the purple copper coffin and risk it all, although he did not know if it was effective. At this time, Lu Ming saw these people's appearances clearly. These people looked very strange. Each and every one of them was tall and thin, like thin bamboo poles. The most special thing was their heads. Their heads were very long, and the top of their heads was pointed, like an awl. What race was this? Lu Ming had never seen or heard of it before. But what made Lu Ming more at ease was that he did not sense any malice from these people. These people's eyes stared fixedly at Lu Ming, full of ecstasy, curiosity, and anticipation. Everyone, I'm Mu Yun. If I've disturbed you in any way, please forgive me. I'll withdraw now. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. Chapter 42-48. Back out? Since you can come here, how can you back out? A burly man with a conical head said. Lu Ming's expression changed as he said, Everyone, what is the meaning of this? I didn't mean to offend you when I came in. At the same time, Lu Ming was on full alert, maintaining contact with the purple copper coffin at all times. If the situation went wrong, he would immediately take out the purple copper coffin and fight for his life. Seeing that Lu Ming was on his guard, the few men with conical heads smiled faintly. One of them, who looked like an old man with 2 white eyebrows, smiled slightly and said, "Little friend, don't misunderstand.
We have no ill intentions."
After saying that, he said to the others, "Let's back up a little. Don't alarm this little friend."
After saying that, he took a few steps back. The others also retreated. The expert standing behind Lu Ming also retreated, keeping a distance from Lu Ming. Lu Ming was slightly relieved because he could feel that these people really did not have any ill intentions. Lu Ming's spirit sense was very sharp.
He could acutely sense whether the other party had any ill intentions towards him.
"Everyone, since you have no ill intentions towards me, why are you not letting me back down? What is the meaning of this?" Lu Ming asked. "That's because we have something to ask you for help with," the old man with 2 white eyebrows said. "You have something to ask me for help with? With my cultivation, what can I do to help?" Lu Ming was puzzled, but in the next moment, his heart skipped a beat. Could it be related to his taboo power?
Sure enough, the old man with 2 white eyebrows said, "Of course you can help.
Little friend, the power you control is very special. We set up a large formation here and activated the power of void annihilation, but it was easily broken by you. This is not something that anyone can do. In fact, we have set up this formation here for several stellar years, and only you can do it." The power of void annihilation? The arc-shaped light that flew out of this cave was all because of this formation?
Lu Ming said, his gaze once again sweeping across the runes on the ground.
"That's right."
The old man with 2 white eyebrows nodded.
"That heart jade was also thrown out by you?"
Lu Ming asked again, his eyes filled with anticipation.
"That's right, the heart jade was refined by my clan."
The old man with 2 eyebrows nodded.
Lu Ming's heart was beating wildly in shock.
The jades of the heart were actually refined by these people and not naturally contained within the world.
This greatly exceeded Lu Ming's expectations. These people were actually able to refine treasures like the jade heart. Wouldn't that mean that they wouldn't be affected by the heart flame demonic fire in the heavenly prison? "You're doing this to find someone who can break the power of void annihilation? What exactly do I have to help you with?" Lu Ming said. He knew that if he didn't agree to help the other party, even if the other party didn't do anything to him, he definitely wouldn't give the heart jade to him. The other party wasn't that stupid. Therefore, it seemed that the other party was definitely going to help. Therefore, the first thing he had to do was to ask the other party what he wanted to help him with. "Speaking of which, we have to start from the history of my clan. My clan is called the Sky Heart Clan. I wonder if you've heard of it?" The old man with 2 eyebrows asked. "Sky Heart Clan? I've never heard of it. There doesn't seem to be such a clan in the 10,000 Races Board of the Primitive Universe." Lu Ming shook his head. In fact, he had some doubts in his heart. Putting everything else aside, just the strength of the dozen people in front of him was extremely shocking. There were definitely peak god emperors among them. Logically speaking, with such experts holding the fort, they should be able to squeeze into the 10,000 Races Board of the Primitive Universe. However, they weren't on the board of the 10,000 Races Board of the Primitive Universe. It's normal that you haven't heard of it. After all, my clan has been gone for countless years. The old man with 2 eyebrows sighed. The other members of the Sky Heart clan were furious. "Let me tell you the truth. Countless years ago, my clan was very famous in the primitive universe. During our heyday, we were ranked in the top 10 of the 10,000 Races Board of the Primitive Universe," the old man with 2 eyebrows said. "What? Top 10? Lu Ming exclaimed. He was really too shocked. During their heyday, the Sky Heart clan was ranked in the top 10 of the 10,000 Races Board of the Primitive Universe. The top 10 of the 10,000 Races Board of the Primitive Universe were known as the top 10 races. They were extremely powerful and had an unfathomable foundation. For example, the Angel Clan, the Demon Clan, the Blood Clan, the Buddha Clan and so on. Which one of them wasn't famous in the universe? They were the pinnacle forces of the universe. If it wasn't for the Heavenly Palace, they would have been the overlords of the universe. The Sky Heart clan was one of the top 10 races back then. It was really terrifying. However, how could such a powerful clan suddenly disappear from the universe? He hadn't even heard of it until now. Lu Ming also asked the question in his heart. It's because of the Heavenly Palace. This time, the old man with 2 eyebrows was also furious. He said, back then,
My clan discovered some secrets of the Heavenly Palace and was dissatisfied with the Heavenly Palace's rule. The Heavenly Palace immediately killed us and sent a large number of experts to annihilate my clan. The remaining people were all locked up in the prison. It's the Heavenly Palace again. Even the top 10 races couldn't withstand a single blow from the Heavenly Palace. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. He thought of the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Clan was also one of the top 10 races back then. They were extremely powerful. In the end, they were still annihilated by the Heavenly Palace. Now, they were removed from the top 10 races. In history, the top 10 races weren't fixed. Every once in a while, there would be a race that weakened or was completely annihilated and then replaced by another race. In fact, the mastermind behind all of this was the Heavenly Palace. The old man with 2 eyebrows said again. Lu Ming was speechless. The Heavenly Palace was indeed powerful. This was undeniable. He waited for the old man to continue. He believed that the old man would soon tell him why he needed his help. Sure enough, the old man with 2 eyebrows continued. My clan has been exterminated and the remaining people have been imprisoned in the heavenly prison, never to leave. However, my clan is not willing to accept this. My clan was so strong in the past, we are not willing to remain silent. We want to leave, but our strength is too weak. Our strongest expert is only at the peak of the Divine Emperor realm. Our Divine Lord experts are imprisoned in another place. Only by rescuing our Divine Lord can we have hope. Therefore we set up the Void Annihilation Array here, and then used the Jade Heart to lure the other people in the prison to fight for it. Only those who could break the Void Annihilation Array could help my clan and save the Divine Lords. The old man with 2 eyebrows explained. In this way, Lu Ming understood all the secrets of the Jade Heart and the Jade Heart Demon Cave. However, there was a bigger problem. You want me to save the Divine Lords of the Sky Heart clan? I don't think I can do it with my cultivation, Lu Ming said. He was only at the Divine Emperor realm. We don't need your cultivation. We only need your strength. Our race's Divine Master is imprisoned in another place, not this prison. However, a few stellar years ago, our race discovered that the place where our Divine Master was imprisoned is connected to this prison. Our race has already discovered the passageway leading to that place, but the passageway has been sealed by a powerful force. After a long time, the experts of my clan finally discovered that force. It was the Void Annihilation Array. The old man with 2 eyebrows said. Chapter 42-49. The experts of my race who are proficient in arrays spent a great deal of effort to create an array. This array can mimic the power of the seal, Void Annihilation. Since you can break Void Annihilation, you should be able to break the seal and release the Godlord experts of my race. The 2-browed elder continued to explain. Lu Ming breathed a sigh of relief. It was just breaking the seal, so it was fine. I can help, but I need Jade Heart. Also, if you can get out, bring me out with you, Lu Ming said. Haha, that's simple. If you have any other requests, you can ask. As long as my race can fulfill them, we will not refuse, the old man with the 2 eyebrows said. Then, he waved his hand, and a number of crystals suddenly appeared in the air. Jade Heart. All of them Jade Heart. There were more than 100 of them. Little friend, take these Jade Heart first. Oh, my name is Xin Wu, an elder of the Sky Heart race. Little friend, you can call me Elder Xin Wu. The 2-browed elder waved his hand, and more than 100 Jade Heart flew toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the Jade Heart. Then many thanks to Elder Xin Wu. Lu Ming cupped his fists. At the same time, he took out a heart jade and held it in his palm. He then injected the taboo force into the heart jade. Immediately, the heart jade disappeared from Lu Ming's palm and appeared in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness the next moment. At the same time, the Jade Heart emitted a cool energy that spread throughout Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming had been a little restless from the corrosion of the Jade Heart Devil Fire, and the negative emotions in his heart disappeared without a trace. Moreover, the cool energy of the Jade Heart isolated him from the Jade Heart Devil Fire. The effects of the Jade Heart were better than Lu Ming had imagined. It was no wonder those experts outside the Jade Heart Devil Cave were willing to risk their lives to obtain the Jade Heart. At the same time, he sighed. The experts outside had to risk their lives to obtain a single heart jade, but he had easily obtained over 100 of them. He wondered what kind of expression those people would have when they found out. Thinking of this,
Lu Ming thought of how Lu and Commander Tungsten. Everyone, I still have one more thing that I need your help with. I have a friend who has been captured outside the Heart Jade Devil Cave. I hope that you can help me save him. Also, I need you to help me kill someone. Lu Ming said. That's simple. Since we've found you, there's no need for this place to exist any longer. Let's set off now. Elder Xian Wu said. Many thanks. Lu Ming cupped his fists, then turned around and walked out of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. Elder Xian Wu brought a dozen experts from the Sky Heart Race and followed behind Lu Ming. They didn't have to worry about any threats when they came out. Their speed was very fast. In just a few breaths, they had crossed the Heart Jade Magic Cave's passageway. The light from outside pierced in. Lu Ming strode out. Outside the Heart Jade Magic Cave, those experts were guarding the entrance of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. Among them, there were 2 experts of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer who were controlling Hao Lu, making it difficult for him to move. This time, it's really troublesome. Am I going to die here? Hao Lu sighed. He didn't have much hope for Lu Ming. Even if Lu Ming could come out of the Heart Jade Magic Cave alive and bring out a large number of Heart Jades, those people wouldn't let Lu Ming go. Not only would they steal Lu Ming's Heart Jades, but they would also control Lu Ming. They would make Lu Ming their tool in the future to collect Heart Jades for them. As for him, once he no longer had any value, he would definitely be mercilessly killed by these people. In other words, he was doomed. If I had known earlier, I would have been imprisoned by Tungsten. Hao Lu sighed inwardly. Suddenly someone shouted, "That kid is coming out." Hao Lu was astonished. He hastily raised his head and looked at the entrance of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. He knew that it was time to decide his fate. Everyone's gazes also turned towards the entrance of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. A silhouette slowly walked out of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. It was pitch black and his face was revealed. If it wasn't Lu Ming, who else could it be? That kid is coming out. He's safe and sound. Did he get the Heart Jades? That kid must have obtained a large number of Heart Jades. Ha ha ha, I'm rich. From now on, I won't have to suffer from the Heart Jade magic fire anymore. Among them, the strongest cultivators were extremely excited. They were filled with excitement and excitement. Little boy, do you have any Heart Jades? Hurry up and give them to us. Hurry up and show us. A few cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer immediately walked towards the entrance of the cave while releasing powerful qi. You should let him go first, said Lu Ming pointing at Hao Lu. This caused Hao Lu's heart to feel slightly warm. Lu Ming hadn't forgotten about him. Little boy, you don't have the right to talk about conditions with us. Do you understand? Said the cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer who had captured Hao Lu. Is that so? Didn't you want the Heart Jades? Look at them. Then, Lu Ming waved his hand and more Heart Jades appeared in his hand. There were more than 50 of them. Outside the Heart Jade Devil Cave, over 100 experts widened their eyes, almost popping out of their sockets. Heart Jades. All of them were Heart Jades. There were more than 50 of them. That was more than 50 Heart Jades. They had never seen so many Heart Jades. As expected, Lu Ming had obtained a great harvest in the Heart Jade Magic Cave. They were overjoyed, especially the cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. They were overjoyed. They thought that they were the strongest cultivators there. As long as they didn't kill each other, the Heart Jades would be theirs. They wouldn't have to suffer from the Heart Jade magic fire anymore. Little boy, quick. Give me the Heart Jades, quick, said an old man of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer, staring at Lu Ming. To be exact, he was staring at the Heart Jades in front of Lu Ming. He wanted to take all of them for himself. Give them to me, quick, said another cultivator of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. Little boy, give them to me. Otherwise, your friend will die miserably, said the cultivator who had captured Hao Lu. He moved closer to the entrance of the cave. However, they didn't dare enter the Heart Jade Magic Cave. They were afraid of it. Lu Ming smiled coldly. He waved his hand and put all the Heart Jades into his ring. His storage ring had originally been given to the Bone Demon. His current storage ring had been given to him by the Sky Heart Tribe. Afterward, Lu Ming's figure retreated rapidly, retreating for dozens of miles. Little boy, what are you doing? Hand over the Heart Jades. Do you know you want to die? Shouted the cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer furiously. Chapter 4250. When the cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer saw that Lu Ming had put away the Jade Heart and was retreating, they all roared furiously as if they were going to defeat Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming smiled coldly and said, "Didn't you hear me tell you to let him go? If you don't let him go, I'll never come out of this cave. Let's see who has more patience and who can wait. Anyway, I have the Jade Heart, so my soul won't be corroded by the demonic fire." Lu Ming sneered coldly. He simply sat cross-legged on the spot, looking relaxed and carefree. Hao Lu was pleasantly surprised. As expected, this kid was full of tricks. Indeed, Lu Ming had the Jade Heart, so he had the upper hand. He could defeat these strong cultivators for sure. They didn't dare enter the Jade Heart Demon Cave, so they could only listen to Lu Ming. Otherwise, they would never be able to get the Jade Heart. The strong cultivators around the Jade Heart Demon Cave ground their teeth. They wished they could cut Lu Ming into pieces. However, they didn't dare enter the Jade Heart Demon Cave, so they could only stare at each other. Very quickly, 10 days had passed. "All right, I'll let him go first. But if you dare play any tricks, I'll make sure you die without a burial place." The expert who caught Hao Lu gritted his teeth and said. His eyes were filled with anger. However, no matter how angry he was, he could only suppress it. He waved his hand and Hao Lu flew away, regaining his freedom. As soon as Hao Lu regained his freedom, he flew to the entrance of the Jade Heart Demon Cave. However, he stopped there, not daring to enter. "Come in, it's all right. If there's danger, I'll take care of it," Lu Ming said to Hao Lu. Hao Lu ground his teeth and chose to believe in Lu Ming. He stepped forward and entered the Jade Heart Demon Cave, arriving next to Lu Ming. Of course, he was extremely nervous. He looked around vigilantly. This was the Jade Heart Demon Cave. Who knew how many strong cultivators had died here? It would be strange if he wasn't nervous. Even though Lu Ming could resist the energy of the Jade Heart Demon Cave, he was still nervous. "What do we do now? If we stay here and don't move, those people won't let us go." Hao Lu sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. At the same time, various thoughts were running through his mind. He wanted to think of a way to escape. However, after much thought, the only way he could think of was to stay in the Heart Jade Magic Cave and not leave. "Brat, now that I've released her, hurry up and come out. Give me the Jade Heart." The expert who caught Hao Lu roared. Deep in his eyes, there was a cold killing intent. He secretly swore in his heart that as long as Lu Ming came out and handed over the Jade Heart, he would make Lu Ming regret his decision just now. He would make Lu Ming suffer a fate worse than death. "Don't go out. These people won't keep their promises. Or you can force them to swear on their life essence that they won't kill us," Hao Lu hurriedly said to Lu Ming. "This old fellow is courting death." Many people glared at Hao Lu, wishing they could slap him to death. If Lu Ming really forced them to swear on their life essence that they wouldn't kill Lu Ming and the rest, they could only let Lu Ming and the rest go. Yes, yes, make them swear. Hao Lu was overjoyed. He didn't expect that he would blurt out such a brilliant idea. After all, Lu Ming had the initiative now. However, Lu Ming had a faint smile on his face and said, "No need to go through so much trouble. Let's go out." After saying that, Lu Ming stepped out. Was there a need to force them to swear on their lives to deal with these people? He had more than 10 experts from the Sky Heart clan. There were peak emperor gods in the Sky Heart clan. These people weren't enough. The reason why he didn't let the people from the Sky Heart clan appear previously was because he was worried about Hao Lu. After all, Hao Lu was in the hands of the other party at that time. Now that Hao Lu had escaped, he didn't have any more worries. However, Hao Lu didn't know about this. When he saw Lu Ming walking out, his expression changed drastically. "Mu Yun, what are you doing? Are you crazy? You're walking right into a trap if you go out now. Are you tired of living?" Hao Lu shouted. The experts outside the Heart Jade Magic Cave were all overjoyed. This brat actually sent himself out. "Ha ha ha, that's great. Previously, I thought this brat was a troublesome character. I didn't expect this brat's brain to be so bad. When this brat comes out, I'll make him wish he was dead." These people roared in their hearts. Of course, they didn't think of killing Lu Ming. They just wanted to torture Lu Ming and make him regret what he did earlier. "Mu Yun," Hao Lu shouted anxiously. "I'm fine. Don't worry.
Lu Ming turned his head and smiled at Hao Lu. He continued to step out and soon arrived at the entrance of the Heart Jade Magic Cave. Everyone's gaze was fixed on Lu Ming. Bang! Finally, Lu Ming took a step forward and officially left the Heart Jade Demon Cave. He stepped out of the Heart Jade Demon Cave. The eyes of the cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer, who were close to the entrance of the Heart Jade Magic Cave, suddenly lit up. Cold chi emerged from their bodies. "Little brat, hand over your jades. Give me all your jades of heart," shouted a few cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. "I advise you not to attack. Let us leave. Otherwise, you'll die miserably," said Lu Ming indifferently. Many people almost burst into laughter when they heard Lu Ming. What was Lu Ming talking about? A godly emperor cultivator was shamelessly telling a group of cultivators of the 8th and 7th Great Supreme God Layer that if they attacked, they would die miserably. Wasn't that a joke? "Ha ha ha, little brat. I think you're crazy. I'll attack. Let's see what you can do to me. Kneel down." A few cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer immediately attacked Lu Ming. They wanted to take Lu Ming's jades first. If they took them first, they would have the upper hand. Maybe they could take them all. For cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer had attacked him. Their speed was too fast. Lu Ming couldn't resist such an attack. However, Lu Ming didn't try to dodge. He just stood there motionlessly. "Damn it! We're done for." Hao Lu's face was deathly pale. He couldn't do anything. They were done for. They had worked so hard to gain the upper hand, but now it was gone. However, at that moment, two silhouettes suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ming. They were two cultivators of the Sky Heart clan. They were two cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The two cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer attacked at the same time. A total of 4 rays of light shot towards the 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. Each cultivator of the Sky Heart clan was fighting against 2 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. The difference between 9th and 8th Great Supreme God Layer was too big. They couldn't fight back at all. The 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer couldn't withstand a single attack. The 4 rays of light flashed and the 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer stiffened. Chapter 42-51. 4 lights flashed and the 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer were petrified. A hole had appeared between their eyebrows and blood was gushing out. Their eyes were wide open as they stared at the 2 cultivators of the Tian Xian clan. They couldn't believe their eyes. They couldn't believe that 2 such strong cultivators had suddenly appeared in the Magic Jade Cave. At the same time, their eyes were filled with intense fear. Then, their life auras rapidly weakened. For cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer fell down on the ground, their chi completely gone. They were dead. For cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer had been killed in a flash. Everybody was astonished. They were petrified and their eyes were wide open. They stared at the 2 cultivators of the Tian Xian clan and then at Lu Ming. They were just like the 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer who had been killed. They were all confused. Why had 2 strong cultivators suddenly appeared in the Magic Jade Cave? What was the relationship between them and Lu Ming? Those 2 cultivators were obviously helping Lu Ming. The 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer had been killed because they wanted to attack Lu Ming. They remembered what Lu Ming had just said. "I advise you not to attack. Otherwise, you will die miserably." Earlier on, Lu Ming's words seemed like a joke to them. It was comical and ridiculous. But now, they realized that what Lu Ming had said wasn't a joke at all. It was a fact. Unfortunately, nobody had believed him. Therefore, the 4 cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer had died. The others shuddered as they secretly rejoiced in their hearts. Especially the other cultivators of the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. They were soaked in cold sweat. They felt lucky that they had attacked too slowly. Otherwise, they would have been the ones to die. Hao Lu, who was behind Lu Ming, was dumbstruck. He thought he was dreaming. "We'll kill anyone who dares touch Prince Mu Yun." A cold voice was heard from the Heart Jade Demonic Cave. Elder Xian Wu led a group of people out and came to Lu Ming's side. Of course, it was Elder Xian Wu who had just spoken. Hiss, gasps could be heard from the crowd. Those people were even more confused. There were still people in the Heart Jade Devil Cave. And there were so many of them. They all seemed to be incomparably powerful existences. Moreover, he even addressed Lu Ming as young Master Mu Yun. He was completely on Lu Ming's side. What the F***CK is going on? Many people roared in their hearts, unable to understand. Now, is there anyone else who wants the jade heart in my hands? Lu Ming's gaze swept across the crowd as his indifferent voice sounded. No one spoke. No one dared to speak. Nonsense, of course I want it. Whoever doesn't want it is a beast. There were 1,000, 10,000 desires in their hearts. If it was just Lu Ming alone, they would have already snatched it. But now, they glanced at the 4 cultivators of the 8th great supreme god layer, who had been killed and their hearts were pounding. Whoever wanted her was a beast. Everyone involuntarily stepped back to express their intentions. Although the jade heart was important, compared to being killed right now, it was better to save his life. Hao Lu, let's go. Lu Ming said to Hao Lu, then strode out of the place. Hao Lu hurriedly followed Lu Ming. He was still in a daze. Soon, they left the area. Hao Lu, these 10 jade hearts are for you. Lu Ming waved his hands and 10 pieces of jade heart flew out toward Vast Willow. Hao Lu instinctively reached out his hand to catch them. He was stunned. After a while, his entire body began to tremble. Even his lips were trembling. He was excited. 10 jade hearts. A total of 10 jade hearts. He had never dreamed that he would be able to obtain 10 jade hearts in one go. After a long time, he had finally obtained a jade heart after much effort. That was because not many people knew the secret of the jade heart, so the competition wasn't as fierce as now. He was lucky enough to obtain a jade heart. This time, he didn't have much hope when he brought Lu Ming here. He was just hoping that he would be able to obtain something. He had never thought that it would end up like this. The entire process was full of twists and turns. It was extremely thrilling. Hao Lu, thank you for bringing me here. However, I have other matters to attend to. Let's part ways here. Lu Ming said. Oh, all right. Hao Lu then woke up from his dream. He took a look at the people from Sky Heart Tribe. He knew that Lu Ming had something to attend to and it definitely had something to do with these people. However, these people were extremely powerful and it was obvious that he couldn't interfere. Luckily, he had obtained 10 jade hearts and could use them for a long time. He was already satisfied. Let's part ways here. We'll meet again if fate allows. Hao Lu cupped his fists. We'll meet again if fate allows. Lu Ming nodded his head and didn't stay any longer. He left with Elder Xian Wu and the rest. After flying for a while, they arrived at a mountain peak. Elder Xian Wu, please wait for me here for a while. Once I've dealt with that matter, I'll meet up with you. Lu Ming said. It's all right. My tribe has waited for a long time and we don't mind waiting a little longer. The two of you, follow young Master Mu Yun. Elder Xian Wu nodded and ordered the 2 9th-level Great God Layers from the Sky Heart clan. Yes. The 2 powerful figures from the Sky Heart clan received the order. Afterward, Lu Ming stepped into the air and left. Lu Ming's matter was naturally Commander Teng Ji's matter. Repay kindness with kindness and revenge with revenge. This was Lu Ming's principle. Commander Teng Ji had dealt with him and he naturally had to take revenge. After a period of time, Lu Ming arrived at the region where Commander Teng Ji was at. Looking from afar, he could see a few red-robed men patrolling the region. It was obvious that the battle had ended and peace had returned. Lu Ming brought the 2 experts from Sky Heart Tribe and headed forward. Who's there? The moment Lu Ming got close, he was discovered. In a flash, a few red-robed men appeared in front of Lu Ming and the rest. This lad looks familiar. It's that lad, the lad who escaped during the chaos. That old man isn't here. Quick, spread the news. These people quickly recognized Lu Ming and let out a few exclamations. In the beginning, they were afraid that Hao Lu would be with Lu Ming. They were shocked. However, after scanning the area, they did not see Hao Lu. They instantly felt at ease. In a flash, they surrounded Lu Ming. As for the 2 experts from Sky Heart Tribe, they couldn't detect their cultivation levels. The 2 experts from Sky Heart Tribe were much stronger than them and they couldn't detect their cultivation levels. However, they were still cautious and had some misgivings. Hence, they did not take action directly. Instead, they surrounded Lu Ming and the rest, waiting for the arrival of reinforcements.
Chapter 42-52. Lu Ming did not make a move. He placed his hands behind his back and waited calmly. Lu Ming did not speak. The two experts from the Sky Heart tribe naturally did not make a move. They stood beside Lu Ming calmly as though they did not see the red-robed men. In their eyes, the red-robed men were like ants that could be killed easily. Naturally, they did not put them in their eyes. In just half a minute, several figures flew over. They were all red-robed men and there were at least a dozen of them. The leader was an old man in a red robe. He was an old acquaintance of Lu Ming. Back then, he had captured Lu Ming and locked Lu Ming in the dungeon. These red-robed men were very fast. In the blink of an eye they had arrived. "Brat, you still dare to come back." When the red-robed old man saw Lu Ming, he shouted angrily. His eyes were filled with anger. Because of Lu Ming, he had been severely punished by Commander Teng Ji. He hated Lu Ming to the core. Before Lu Ming came, Hao Lu had been locked up for many years without escaping. However, after Lu Ming came, Hao Lu escaped not long after. Commander Teng Ji thought that this had something to do with Lu Ming. Since he was the one who captured Lu Ming, he was naturally implicated. When he saw Lu Ming, the red-robed old man's anger exploded. Teng Ji did not come out. "That's good too. I'll deal with you first before dealing with Teng Ji," Lu Ming said indifferently. "What? Brat, I think you're courting death," the red-robed old man shouted angrily. Then, he looked at the two experts from the Sky Heart tribe and his eyes narrowed. Previously, he had focused all his attention on Lu Ming and neglected the two experts from the Sky Heart tribe. Now that he looked at them, he immediately discovered the problem. His cultivation was much higher than the rest. When he looked at the two experts from the Sky Heart tribe, he instinctively felt danger. Although they did not release their auras, they still gave him a strong sense of pressure. In addition, since Lu Ming had already escaped, it was strange that he would return. Something's not right. It's a trap. The red-robed old man was shocked, and then he quickly retreated. However, it was already too late. At this moment, Lu Ming had already spoken. "Seniors, do it," Lu Ming said. Whoosh, whoosh. As soon as Lu Ming finished his words, the two powerful figures from the Sky Heart clan struck. Their figures flashed and turned into phantoms as they charged toward the red-robed men. Fast, too fast. It was so fast that these red-robed men couldn't dodge at all. Puff, puff, puff. The sound of sharp blades piercing flesh rang out. When the two experts from the Sky Heart race stopped, over 10 red-robed cultivators had been pierced through. Their souls had been annihilated. More than 10 red-robed men had fallen, including the red-robed old man. "Go!" Lu Ming did not even look at these people as he stepped forward. Soon, he leaped over a mountain and the huge fighting stage appeared in front of Lu Ming. On the fighting stage, two figures were fighting fiercely. Above them, Commander Teng Ji was watching. As he watched, his eyes flickered with tyrannical radiance from time to time. During this period of time, he was very unhappy, extremely unhappy. Hao Lu had escaped and he couldn't find a way to resist the heart flame demonic fire. This made the negative emotions in his heart even more explosive and difficult to control. Therefore, during this period of time, he had to watch others fight every day to vent his emotions. If it wasn't for this, he would have gone crazy. Damn Hao Lu and that brat. Damn it. Damn it. Don't let me see you. I'll make you suffer the greatest pain in the world. Commander Teng Ji roared in his heart with a hideous expression. Suddenly, Commander Teng Ji sensed something. He looked up into the sky and his eyes widened abruptly. He naturally saw Lu Ming. Unexpectedly, just as he thought of this brat appeared. Previously, the red-robed elder did not tell Commander Teng Ji that Lu Ming was here. The red-robed elder wanted to take down Lu Ming himself and apologize to Commander Teng Ji. Therefore, Commander Teng Ji did not know that Lu Ming was here. When he saw Lu Ming, he was stunned. "Brat, how dare you come back? Where's Hao Lu? Ask him to come out." Commander Teng Ji roared furiously. His body soared into the sky and charged towards Lu Ming. He stretched out his hand and wanted to grab Lu Ming. However, just as he was halfway there, his rapidly moving figure suddenly stopped. His pupils constricted rapidly, revealing a trace of fear. Because he saw two experts from the Sky Heart tribe, his cultivation level was higher than the red-robed elders. He had reached the 7th Heaven Emperor God realm.
He realized that the aura of the two experts from the Sky Heart tribe was extremely terrifying. They were many times stronger than him. Terrifying, dangerous, not good. Commander Tengji could no longer care about Lu Ming and he retreated rapidly. However, it was too late. One of the experts from the Sky Heart tribe had already attacked. His body flashed and he appeared in front of Commander Tengji. "No, spare my life." Commander Tungsten let out an earth-shattering cry for mercy. His voice was filled with terror. However, Lu Ming would not let him go. The expert from the Sky Heart tribe attacked without hesitation. Commander Tengji roared furiously and used all his strength to resist. However, the difference between the 7th Heaven Emperor God Realm and the 9th Heaven Emperor God Realm was too great. No matter how he resisted, it was useless. A divine light flashed and Commander Tengji's forehead was pierced. He died on the spot. Even at the moment of his death, his eyes were still wide open, filled with unwillingness and confusion. This. At that moment, the surrounding red-robed men were dumbfounded.
Everything had happened too quickly. When Commander Tengji saw Lu Ming, he immediately attacked. However, he was killed halfway by the expert from the Sky Heart tribe. Everything had happened in an instant.
In the hearts of the red-robed men, the extremely powerful Commander Tengji had been killed so easily. It was like a dream. "Run!" Suddenly, one of the red-robed men shouted and turned around to run.
Even Commander Tengji had been killed so easily. Wouldn't they be courting death if they stayed behind? The other red-robed men also reacted and fled in all directions. Lu Ming did not ask the experts from the Sky Heart tribe to chase after them. His main target was Commander Tengji. As long as he killed Commander Tengji, it would be fine.
As for the others, as long as they did not take the initiative to die, he would not care. Soon, all the red-robed men had run away. On the fighting stage, the two figures who were fighting stopped and looked at Lu Ming in a daze. They were extremely happy to see Commander Tengji being killed. However, there was a formation on the fighting stage and they could not escape immediately. "Seniors, break the formation here and let the two of them out," Lu Ming said to the two experts from the Sky Heart tribe. The two experts from the Sky Heart tribe nodded and attacked. With their cultivation of the 9th Heaven Emperor God Realm, it was not difficult for them to break the formation on the fighting stage. It did not take them long to break the formation on the fighting stage. The two people on the fighting stage were overjoyed. They flew over and cupped their fists. "Thank you, young master, for saving us." Chapter 42-53. You're welcome. We're all victims. Lu Ming smiled. The two of them thanked each other again before leaving the place. Afterward, Lu Ming led the two powerful figures from the Sky Heart clan into the dungeon and released all the living creatures that were imprisoned in the dungeon. Lu Ming also removed the seals on these prisoners. These prisoners were naturally grateful and left one after another. After settling this matter, Lu Ming and the two experts from the Sky Heart tribe left the place to meet up with Elder Xian Wu and head to the Sky Heart tribe together. They were still very far away from the Sky Heart tribe. They traveled continuously for 7 days before arriving at the territory of the Sky Heart tribe. The Sky Heart tribe occupied a vast area in the heavenly prison and thrived there. They wouldn't be corroded by the heart flame demon fire. Over the years, their numbers had multiplied greatly. However, there seemed to be some kind of seal or restriction in the Sky Prison. In the Sky Prison, one's cultivation could only reach the peak Emperor God Realm before it was difficult to break through. Over the years, the Sky Heart tribe had never produced a Divine Lord Realm expert. Therefore, they wanted to break the seal and release the sealed Divine Lord Realm experts of the Sky Heart tribe. When Lu Ming arrived at the Sky Heart tribe, he received a grand reception. Almost all the upper echelons of the Sky Heart tribe were present to welcome Lu Ming. The Sky Heart tribe was so powerful and prosperous in the past. How could they be willing to accept the fact that they had fallen to such a state? Now, Lu Ming had become their only savior. How could they not value him? Lu Ming rested in the Sky Heart tribe for another 3 days. Then, a big shot from the Sky Heart tribe brought Lu Ming to the place where the seal was. This was a barren land guarded by a large number of experts from the Sky Heart tribe. Outsiders couldn't get close. That is. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed the moment he arrived at this area. There was a shocking scene in the void in front of him. The void in front of him was shaking and twisting continuously like water ripples. However, there were huge chains in the void. These chains crisscrossed and covered the void. There were at least dozens of chains in the air. Dozens of chains had sealed off that area of the void. The power of these chains. Lu Ming sensed it carefully and was shocked. He discovered that the chains weren't real, but were made of energy. Lu Ming was very familiar with this kind of energy. It was very similar to the void destruction energy in the Heart Jade Devil Cave. This is the sealed place. We guessed that there used to be a passage here that led to the place where our Divine Master was trapped. Later, it was sealed by the Heavenly Palace. There are a total of 49 chains here. They are all formed by the power of void destruction. They are extremely terrifying. No matter how many experts we sent, we were unable to break through them. Instead, many of our people died. The Heart Jade Magic Cave's array formation was also imitated by our clan's array formation masters after studying these chains for a very long time. However, it is far inferior to the void annihilation power of these chains. At the side, Elder Xian Wu explained to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded. He had more or less guessed it. Little friend Mu Yun, we will have to rely on you for the rest. However, the void destruction energy of these chains is extremely terrifying. You must be careful. Another elder from the Sky Heart clan said. This person was called Xian Fan, and he was the patriarch of the Sky Heart clan. Patriarch, don't worry. I will do my best. Lu Ming nodded. If he could release the Divine Master Realm expert from the Sky Heart clan, he was naturally willing. It was too difficult for him to escape from the heavenly prison with his own cultivation. It was almost impossible. Therefore, only by creating some chaos and uncertainty would he be able to escape. Releasing the Divine Master Realm expert from the Sky Heart clan was to create uncertainty. On the surface, it looked like he was helping the Sky Heart clan. However, he was also helping himself. Lu Ming observed for a while before he walked toward one of the chains. From afar, the chains didn't look big. However, when he got closer, he realized that the chains were extremely huge. Every chain was bigger than a vast mountain range. Lu Ming's size was like a speck of dust compared to the chains. Lu Ming slowly approached one of the chains. When he got closer, the chain emitted a terrifying fluctuation. A formless energy rushed toward Lu Ming. This energy was extremely terrifying. It was as though it could destroy everything. Its aura was very similar to the arc-shaped light that flew out from the Heart Jade Magic Cave. However, it was even more terrifying. After all, the arc-shaped light from the Heart Jade Magic Cave was created by the Sky Heart clan to imitate the chains. The power of the imitation naturally couldn't be compared to the real thing. From afar, all the big shots from the Sky Heart clan stared at Lu Ming. Their heartbeats quickened and their breathing quickened. They were anticipating and nervous at the same time. Although they had heard from Elder Xian Wu that Lu Ming could break the Heart Jade Magic Cave's array, they hadn't seen it with their own eyes. Moreover, the energy of these chains was vast and boundless. They were many times more powerful than the array that they had set up. It was still unknown whether Lu Ming could break them. This concerned the fate of their clan. It would be strange if they weren't nervous. Lu Ming circulated his taboo energy and covered his body with it. He allowed the formless energy to rush over. Hoo-hoo. That energy was like a gale that blew past Lu Ming's body. However, when it got close to Lu Ming's body, it automatically moved aside. The taboo energy on Lu Ming's body directly cut off that energy. It's effective. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. As for the experts from the Sky Heart clan, their eyes lit up as well. They were delighted. Although Lu Ming hadn't officially started to break the chains, they knew very well that it was extremely dangerous to get close to the chains. The Sky Heart clan had paid a huge price in the past. However, Lu Ming was fine. This meant that there was hope. They had succeeded in the first step. Lu Ming continued to move forward and approached the chains. Formless void energy rushed towards Lu Ming from the chains. However, it was all blocked by the taboo energy. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the bottom of the chain. What followed was the real beginning. Lu Ming needed to use the taboo energy to destroy the chains. Lu Ming stretched out his palm and circulated the taboo energy as he slowly approached the chains. Everyone from the Sky Heart clan felt their hearts rise to their throats. Whether or not it would be effective and whether or not it would succeed would depend on this move. Finally, Lu Ming's palm pressed against the chains. Boom! Lu Ming felt as though the chains had exploded. The berserk void energy rushed towards Lu Ming as though he had poked a hornet's nest. The entire chain was formed by the void energy. Once it exploded, it would be extremely terrifying. Lu Ming's face changed slightly as he released the taboo energy.
Chapter 42-54. Lu Ming unleashed his taboo energy and struck out. The taboo energy was like a pillar as it rushed towards the void annihilation energy. Boom! There was a loud bang. The force of void annihilation was penetrated and Lu Ming was unscathed. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The taboo energy was indeed able to break through the void annihilation energy. Let's continue then. Lu Ming placed his palm on the chain as the taboo energy surged out and struck the chain. The chain vibrated continuously as the void annihilation energy surged out. However, Lu Ming broke through it. The void annihilation energy here was stronger than the void annihilation energy in the Heart Jade Demon Cave. However, it couldn't harm Lu Ming. When the taboo energy surged out and broke through the void annihilation energy, it also refined a portion of the void annihilation energy. This way, the void annihilation energy on the chain would be reduced slightly. After a while, the area where Lu Ming's palm was placed on the chain dimmed. It's really effective. It's really effective. Seeing this scene, the Sky Heart Tribe members were ecstatic. Previously, they were still worried that Lu Ming wouldn't be able to deal with the void annihilation energy. Now that they saw that Lu Ming was able to refine it, they could finally relax. As long as he could refine it, it didn't matter if the speed was slow. Over time, he would be able to refine it. Lu Ming continued to pour in his taboo energy. After a few hours, Lu Ming suddenly retreated and distanced himself from the chain. His taboo energy was almost depleted and he needed to replenish it. I reckon that it will take a long time. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. After a few hours, the chain had only been refined a little. He didn't know how long it would take to refine the void annihilation energy on the entire chain. Moreover, there were a total of 49 chains like this. He hoped that the people from the Heavenly Palace wouldn't discover it. Little brother Mu Yun, you've worked hard. Patriarch Xian Fan stepped forward with a smile on his face. He was so happy that he finally saw hope. I'm ashamed. My cultivation is too weak. I don't know how long it will take for me to refine it. Lu Ming said. It doesn't matter. My clan has waited for a long time, so it doesn't matter if we wait a little longer. Little brother Mu Yun, you should be exhausted, right? If you need anything to recover, just tell me. Xian Fan said. I need a treasure that contains pure energy, or a treasure that contains rich life force, Lu Ming said. That's easy. I have quite a lot here. If it's not enough, I'll immediately send a message back to get more for you, Xian Fan said. With a wave of his hand, one pitch-black crystal after another flew out towards Lu Ming. There were tens of thousands of them. Lu Ming waved his hand and put the crystals away. He then took out a piece and sensed it. He immediately discovered that the crystals did indeed contain an extremely pure energy. This energy was similar to the Elvenwood core, but the energy it contained was even denser than the Elvenwood core. This is really good stuff. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He then sat down cross-legged and began to absorb it. The energy in the crystal was absorbed and dispersed into every cell in his body. It was then converted into forbidden energy for Lu Ming to use. It didn't take long for Lu Ming to recover to his peak state. After recovering, Lu Ming continued to refine the chain. When his energy was exhausted, he returned to absorb the energy of the crystal to recover. Just like that, the cycle repeated itself. Time passed day by day. As time passed, the void annihilation energy on the chain grew dimmer and dimmer. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. Lu Ming spent a total of 10 years before he finally refined one of the chains completely. Phew, the progress is faster than I expected. Lu Ming breathed a sigh of relief. If he took 10 years to refine one chain, he would be able to refine all 49 chains in 490 years. What was 490 years to them? It was just a blink of an eye. After refining the first chain, he started to refine the second chain. It was worth mentioning that during this period, the Sky Heart Tribe sent Lu Ming a large number of black crystals. There were hundreds of thousands of them to ensure that Lu Ming had sufficient energy. Lu Ming naturally kept them without hesitation. He knew very well that he did not need so many crystals to refine the 49 chains. However, Lu Ming had no intention of returning the extra crystals. The more such treasures, the better. Time passed quickly year after year. Finally, after 490 years, the 49 chains were completely refined by Lu Ming. When the last chain disappeared, Lu Ming quickly retreated to the side of the expert from the Sky Heart Tribe. Rumble! The void began to tremble violently.
The void rippled like water. Suddenly, a black dot appeared in the middle of the void. This black dot seemed to have a great attractive force that sucked in everything around it. And this black dot was rapidly growing in size. Soon, the black dot turned into a huge black hole that was dozens of meters in diameter. Through the black hole, one could vaguely see that there were spots of starlight on the other side. However, they were very dim. Starlight? Could this hole lead to the chaotic universe? Lu Ming's heart was beating wildly. If it led directly to the chaotic universe, wouldn't he be able to escape directly? The eyes of the experts from the Sky Heart tribe lit up. Obviously, they had thought of this too. Could it lead directly to the chaotic universe? Someone whispered. I'm not sure. Even if it doesn't lead to the chaotic universe, it should lead to the place where our Divine Master experts are imprisoned. This is a good thing for us. That's right. The passageway has been formed. Once it stabilizes, we'll immediately send someone to check it out. The experts from the Sky Heart tribe spoke one after another and decided on a plan. Everyone waited quietly. After about 3 days, the passageway stabilized completely. Holes that were 1,000 meters in diameter appeared in the air. Patriarch, let's set off. Immediately, more than 10 people asked for permission. These people were the top experts from the Sky Heart tribe. All of them were peak emperor gods. All right. Be careful. If there's anything, report back immediately. Elder Xian Fan said. Then the experts from the Sky Heart tribe set off. They flew toward the black hole and disappeared within it. Everyone waited anxiously. Especially the Sky Heart tribe. After spending countless years and exhausting countless efforts, would he be able to succeed this time? Although they guessed that the Divine Master experts from the Sky Heart tribe were imprisoned on the other side of the black hole, they weren't sure if it was true. Lu Ming was also filled with anticipation. In fact, he was more excited to see the chaotic universe on the other side. Then he could escape directly. This was because even if they released the Divine Master experts from the Sky Heart tribe, they would only have the hope of escaping. They might not be able to escape. Chapter 42:55. They did not have to wait for long. About half an hour later, some people flew over from the other side of the hole. They were the men from the Sky Heart tribe. However, at that moment, the dozen or so Sky Heart clan members all had terrified looks on their faces. Their faces were pale and they were covered in cold sweat. They flew over quickly as though they had encountered something terrifying. Clan leader Xian Fan and the others were nervous. They released their auras and were prepared for a big battle. They thought that there would be some terrifying existence coming from the other side of the black hole. However, when the men from the Sky Heart tribe arrived, there was nothing coming after them. What's going on? Why are you so terrified? What did you encounter? Clan leader Xian Fan shouted and asked the men from the Sky Heart tribe. However, he did not let his guard down and continued to stare at the black hole. Corpses, terrifying corpses. One of the old men from the Sky Heart tribe said. He was an elder of the Sky Heart tribe and he was a peak emperor god. However, at this moment he was terrified. Corpses? What's going on? Is there any danger over there? Did you find any divine masters? Elder Xian Fan asked a few questions. No, there is no danger over there and no divine masters have been found. There are only corpses over there. A large number of corpses. Clan leader. You will know when you go over. The elder from the Sky Heart tribe said. The hearts of clan leader Xian Fan and the others sank. They did not see any divine masters from the Sky Heart tribe. Could it be that the divine masters from the Sky Heart tribe were not imprisoned over there? Since there is no danger, why don't we go over and take a look? Lu Ming said. All right, let's go over and take a look. Clan leader Xian Fan nodded. Only a few of them were left behind in case of an emergency. The rest of them flew towards the black hole, including Lu Ming. Lu Ming was also curious about the situation over there. Soon, they passed through the black hole and came to an unfamiliar region. It was indeed a starry sky with specks of starlight. However, when they looked into the distance, their faces changed drastically. Corpses. They were all corpses. There were corpses floating in the starry sky in front of them. These corpses belonged to various living beings and they were huge. The small ones were the size of a mountain while the large ones were the size of a planet or even bigger than a planet. That is, the corpse of a primordial divine spirit, When Lu Ming's gaze landed on the largest corpse, he couldn't help but exclaim. The corpse was even larger than a planet. Its fist was equivalent to a planet. Judging from its size, it was easy to tell that it was a primordial god. Only, this primordial deity's head was gone, as if it had been chopped off by someone. Let's go and take a look. Xian Fan Patriarch suppressed the shock in his heart and said. Everyone nodded and flew forward. It did not take long for them to reach the large number of corpses. From afar, the corpses seemed to be packed together, but when they got closer, they realized that the corpses were separated from each other by a large distance. There was not a single trace of life. They were all dead. Some were split into two halves, some had their heads chopped open, and some had their glabella pierced. All of them had been killed by terrifying means. Furthermore, each of the corpses was emitting a terrifying aura. It was so piercing that their skin felt like it was being cut apart. What terrifying auras! Could these corpses have all been divine masters when they were alive? Lu Ming muttered in a low voice. His voice was extremely solemn. Yes, divine masters. All of them were divine masters. Why are there so many corpses? What is going on? Xian Fan Patriarch said. His voice was trembling, and his face was filled with fear. There were too many corpses. At a glance, there were no less than 1,000 corpses. These were all Divine Master Realm experts. Anyone who saw over 1,000 Divine Master Realm experts' corpses at once would be terrified. These were Divine Masters, the pinnacle of combat strength in the universe. The more they looked, the more terrified they became. Was this a place where Divine Masters were buried? As for who did this, it was needless to say that it was the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Palace had actually slaughtered so many Divine Master Realm experts and buried them here. They suppressed the fear in their hearts and continued to look. There were all kinds of races. Lu Ming saw a gigantic divine dragon. The dragon's body was billions of miles long, and the aura it emitted was extremely terrifying. There was also a phoenix that was as big as a planet. Among them, there were some special races that Lu Ming had never heard of before. Can I take away the original Divine Spirit's corpse? Lu Ming suppressed the shock in his heart and started to think. These were all Divine Master corpses. It could be said that they were all priceless treasures. Especially if there were any corpses of Devil Lords or Fiend Divine Lords. Those would be of great use to Bone Devils. Lu Ming flew towards the original Divine Spirit's corpse. The original Divine Spirit's corpse was emitting a terrifying qi. That qi cut Lu Ming's body like a knife. Lu Ming circulated the taboo power with all his might to resist this aura. The original Divine Spirit had been dead for many years. Even though the qi was terrifying, it wasn't unstoppable. Ordinary cultivators of the 9th Godly Emperor layer wouldn't have been able to resist it. They would have been killed as soon as they got close. However, Lu Ming was much stronger than ordinary cultivators of the 9th Godly Emperor layer. He could resist that qi. After getting closer, Lu Ming looked at the corpse carefully. There's no blood. The blood has dried up. What should I do? Lu Ming frowned. The corpse was too big. It was impossible to carry it all away. His interspatial ring couldn't hold it. He could only get some blood and bones. But there wasn't any. Let's see if I can cut off some bones. Lu Ming took out a battle sword and slashed at the original Divine Spirit's body. But the sword bounced back. It didn't leave a single mark on the original Divine Spirit's skin. Lu Ming tried again, but it didn't work. In the end he gave up. When the Sky Heart clan saw Lu Ming's reaction, they were also tempted. They sent Divine Masters to take some materials back. However, even though they were peak great supreme gods, they couldn't do it. In the end, they came up empty-handed. Let's go to other places, said Xian Fan. They had come to look for the Divine Masters of the Sky Heart clan. Since they hadn't found any, they weren't willing to give up. They wanted to continue looking. They chose a direction and continued flying. Then they found more corpses. In the end, they found a few thousand corpses. They were all Divine Masters. It was terrifying. They were all Divine Masters' corpses. That's our Divine Masters, shouted an elder of the Sky Heart clan suddenly. Chapter 42-56. That is, our tribe's Divine Master. An elder from the Sky Heart tribe exclaimed. Everyone was shocked and they immediately looked in a direction. Everyone from the Sky Heart tribe turned pale when they saw that direction.
Their faces turned pale. There was indeed a member of the Skyheart tribe there. However, it was a corpse. Just like the other corpses, it was floating there quietly. Dead. Everyone from the Skyheart race had pale faces. They had put in so much effort to find the Divine Master of the Skyheart tribe, and hoped that the Divine Master of the Skyheart tribe would bring them out of this place. Was this the outcome? Their eyes were filled with despair. There is. Another member of the Skyheart tribe pointed into the distance and said with a trembling voice. Everyone looked over and saw another corpse of the Skyheart tribe. Judging from its aura, it was also a Divine Master. Xian Fan and the rest turned even paler. Indeed, they found a few more corpses of the Divine Masters of the Skyheart tribe. They had found 5 corpses in total. At that moment, everyone from the Skyheart tribe was filled with despair. There was no need to search anymore. It was obvious that the Divine Master of the Skyheart tribe was dead. He was not trapped in a certain place. He had been killed. Despair filled their faces. Especially Xian Fan and the rest. They looked as though they had aged countless years in an instant. Is our Skyheart tribe destined to perish? Destined to be imprisoned in the Sky Prison forever? Clan leader Xian Fan sighed. Does clan leader Xian Fan want to give up? We might be able to find a way out here. Lu Ming said. His words lit up the eyes of clan leader Xian Fan and the rest. Yes, they had not given up hope yet. Although the Divine Master of the Skyheart tribe was dead, it did not mean that they could not leave this place. Perhaps there was a way out of this place where the Divine Master was buried? They could not give up. Let's continue forward. Clan leader Xian Fan said. They immediately decided on a direction and continued forward. Slowly, the number of corpses floating in the air decreased. Not long after, their vision cleared up. There were no more corpses in front of them. It was a starry sky. The starry sky was empty and deep. They could not see the end of it. They looked hopeful as they continued forward. In front of them, they didn't see any more Divine Master corpses. However, this part of the starry sky was very strange. There were very few stars, and they could only see a few stars occasionally. They flew forward for several days and found nothing. It seems like this place is also a cage that buries the corpses of god lords. An elder of the Skyheart race sighed. The last glimmer of hope in his eyes disappeared without a trace. It was the same for the other Skyheart tribe members. Is there really no way out? Lu Ming's heart began to waver. No, as long as there's still a glimmer of hope, I can't give up. Lu Ming shook his head, and his gaze became firm again. Immediately, they continued their journey. Although the members of the Skyheart race were in despair, they didn't want to give up just like that. In the blink of an eye, another few days passed. Look, that's a universe black hole. Suddenly, an elder from the Skyheart race pointed to the front. Everyone looked over. Sure enough, an incomparably deep black hole had appeared in the starry sky ahead. It was incomparably huge, floating in the universe. There were no stars or substances in the surroundings. Not even light could be seen. A universe black hole. This was a true universe black hole. It had an incomparably terrifying attractive force that could suck in any matter, including light. Everyone's expression turned solemn. There was actually a universe black hole here. In the universe black holes were generally forbidden grounds. Even god emperors would find it hard to escape if they were trapped inside. Not to mention god emperors, even some god lords would be in danger if they were trapped inside. Let's go around it. Don't go near it. Clan leader Xian Fan said. Everyone nodded and planned to go around it. Everyone flew to the side. Something's not right. Look, there's something in the universe black hole. Suddenly, someone shouted. At this moment, everyone's pupils contracted. Because they had also noticed something. At the core of the universe black hole, there was light spreading out. The universe black hole that was said to be able to devour light actually had light spreading out. It was truly shocking. Everyone took a closer look, and their hearts beat wildly. It seemed to be a coffin, a golden coffin. In the universe black hole, there was actually a golden coffin floating. This was somewhat unbelievable. Who was buried in the coffin? It was actually emitting light and people outside could see it. This place is not to be underestimated. Clan leader Xian Fan said solemnly. Indeed, it might be an important place in the Heavenly Palace. Let's take a look.
An elder of the Sky Heart clan said. Everyone nodded and went around the universe black hole from afar. However, not long after, they saw another shocking scene. Because they saw a second universe black hole. In this universe black hole, there was also light emitting out. They also saw something. There was a cage in this black hole. It was made of some kind of strange metal. Inside the cage, one could vaguely see a creature. It was extremely tall and sturdy, and it was incomparably huge. It was lying in the cage, motionless. These universe black holes, could they really be cages that trap some terrifying existence? An elder of the Sky Heart clan said with a trembling voice. The rest did not speak, but their expressions were solemn. They also had the same guess in their hearts. Next, they continued to move forward and discovered a few more universe black holes. Without exception, there was something in every universe black hole. Some of them were cages, some were coffins, and some were even big boxes. They even saw a massive life form floating in the center of the universe's black hole. This life form's body was pierced through by chains, and the other end of the chains extended into the depths of the universe's black hole. It was unknown where it led. Terrifying, extremely terrifying. In every universe black hole, there was a high possibility that an extremely powerful being was trapped. These beings were definitely terrifying. Moreover, no one knew if they were dead or alive. No one knew how long these living beings had been trapped. Some of them might have already fallen. Forget it, it seems like this is also a cage. A cage that is of a higher level than the heavenly prison. It's impossible for us to get out. Let's give up. An elder of the Sky Heart clan sighed. His eyes were filled with despair. The rest of the Sky Heart clan, including the clan leader of the Sky Heart clan, were similar. It was obvious that this was indeed a cage, a higher level cage. The heavenly prison imprisoned those below the almighty realm. However, this place imprisoned those above the almighty realm. Moreover, even if the almighty realm of the heavenly human tribe was still alive, they were trapped in the universe black hole. It was impossible for them to rescue them. Once they got close to the black hole, they would be devoured by the power of the black hole. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.